Hey everybody, welcome to the second show of the Optiverse. This is the Justicars, the big damn heroes, the avenging Avengers, the leagues of justice. We are here to right all the wrongs, and I'm super excited that you decided to join us here on Sunday night, what is it, May the 26th, for our premiere episode of the Justicars, the second show in the Optiverse. I am Opti, and I am the producer, but I'm not going to be running this game. In fact, I'm going to be playing this game, and I'll be handing over the reins of the GM to Clifton, who is up there at the top, and I'll let him talk in a second, but I want to remind everybody that we have a couple cool things going on. For example, the bottom at the stream boss, every time you give anything to the Shadowcasters network, like is happening right now, the stream boss is getting decimated, and when that happens, when the stream boss is defeated, the new person who defeated the stream boss becomes the stream boss, and that person will get a hero point. A hero point can do all sorts of cool things, like change the scene, improve a roll, give inspiration, an instant counter, or an instant recover to the heroes. You can give it to any of the heroes, or you can give it to the GM, or you can keep it for yourself and use it at some time of your choosing, like some cosmic meddler in the game. So without further ado, I want to welcome you all here to the second Optiverse show, Justicars, and I'm going to hand the reins over to Cliff, who is going to ask all of us to introduce ourselves. Hey, Cliff!
Hello! Well, thanks for inviting me to GM this. I've been looking forward to this. Had a bit of a 2-week delay on getting things started, but I think overall that's a good thing. I've had more time to think about the opening adventure here, and I'm excited to get things going and see how it goes and find out what happens.
And next we have Lang.
Hello there, I'm Lang. I'm Jam. I run a whole bunch of different stuff. I used to be a Twitch streamer, don't do it anymore. I'll be playing Obo, the amazing astroship. He's a chimpanzee in a spacesuit. It's very smart, as you'll see. He's gonna be Tony Stark without any of the baggage. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. And he also has a trusty dead robot turned butler following him around at all times, but okay. Sorry about that. Next.
Right on. And Sarah.
Hey, so I'm going to be playing Core. She is an Irish shapeshifter, which is going to be super fun. And really excited to join this team. In real life, we are. I am the owner of Realm Alternatives Productions, and we're getting ready to announce our first Kickstarter that's going to be launching in July for a cyberpunk fantasy series. So if you follow us on the other podcast for the Sixth World live play, you can kind of get a sampling of what we're going to be doing with that. So it's really fun. Tune in.
Right on. And Whitney.
Yeah, I'm Whitney. I'm going to be playing Aether. I draw stuff. That's it. That's all.
That's good enough. And Bob.
Hey everybody, I'm Bob Volbrecht. You might see my credits and some Shadowrun stuff as Robert Volbrecht or Banshee. I'll be playing Gravistar tonight, Master of Gravity. We'll see if Sarah there can bring the human out.
I'm going to try real hard, buddy.
And as noted before, I am Opti. You might know me from the Neo-Anarchist podcast or from some of my writing with the Shadowrun stuff. Also do some stuff for Earth Dawn, and I just started my own company called Fraggin' Unicorns Games, which doesn't have anything to offer. So maybe later, maybe we'll do something with it. Who knows? But I'm going to be playing Optimist, who is the ever-loving, ever-hoping, square-jawed superhero that sometimes wears a cape, sometimes shaves, sometimes wears goggles. I've got a whole host of faces to put on him, and I'm super excited to be bringing hope to the world. Yeah. Let's do this. Back to you, Cliff.
All right. So, speaking of which, I guess who's ready to play some Mutants and Masterminds?
Woohoo!
Me.
Okay, let's get started then. We are starting this campaign off. Everyone's got their characters made. I think we'll have you introduce yourselves as you appear within the comic, so to speak. So, with that, we'll set the stage. On the first page, it's showing a beautiful park with a large mansion in the center of it. Surrounding it are lots and lots of people at the street level on the outside of the park, and somewhat into the park. Looks like there's a stage been set up. There's some sort of big public event there, and there's a banner. There's a banner up that's saying, "Congratulations and welcome to the Justicars, defenders of the city of Proudhaven." It's a big banner. And we have a few shots of the front of this place as we get a closer look at the people who are outside. There are people who are cheering and excited, wearing T-shirts with the images of some of their favorite old retired superheroes, or the ones that are missing from ages ago. And maybe some of them holding up signs about how they're happy about superheroes are back and bring on the Justicars. But then there's also some angry-looking people who are holding up signs saying, "We don't need vigilantes. No wild superheroes, no destroyed buildings, no battles in our town, no Justicars," things like that. So there are some people who are opposing it, but they seem to be a smaller group. Toward the front, a little bit further in the park where the pavilion is, there's a band setting up. It's a popular local band that started up in the last year or so called Seeley and the Banshees. I mean, not Seeley and the Banshees. Somebody else said Banshees before. Seeley and the Butterflies. And they're a pretty popular rock band, and people are excited to see what they're going to be performing today. And then we cut in closer to the mansion itself, which from a distance appears to be an old kind of a maybe Victorian-style mansion, but as you get closer, there's definitely signs of recent renovations and definitely signs of technology installed. And we come up to the window of one of the main offices, where currently there is standing, almost at attention, but a little bit more at ease, I'd say, than that, would be Optimist in full uniform or costume. So why don't you go ahead and describe yourself, Optimist?
Opti is standing there, and he's got his cape on. He normally doesn't wear his cape because everybody knows that capes are dangerous. But now he's got his cape on, and he's got his goggles on. Now he's got his mustache. He's not rocking the beard. He's maybe shaved a little bit, but he's trying to set a good example and make himself nice and presentable for everybody. He's standing there just kind of in a typical superhero pose with his hands on his hips, his legs spread about shoulder length, just waiting for everybody to come and see and for everybody to take a look and be proud to have their own superhero here and their own superhero team, and everybody, coming together to spread some hope and to do some good. He's on the lookout. He's on the lookout for the people that he's expecting, for the heroes he's expecting.
And the office that you're in is it's really nice, tastefully decorated, but it has lots of different screens up, and a lot of them are showing different scenes that are going on currently in the castle itself, so to speak. But across from you in the office is the person who currently holds your attention. It's a man in a military uniform, and he's also standing. You've been in a conversation with him. This is an important briefing. This person is General Maxon, who often is stationed at the military base just outside of town in Proudhaven, and he's been very much involved in helping things get implemented here for the Justicars getting established. You've worked with him a little bit here and there, and he seems to be just really, really good at cutting through red tape. And he's helped get a lot of the important renovations and things in, and helped you get the requisition for the jet that's in the hangar. So overall, you've had a fairly warm working relationship with him, even though he's fairly distant. And he's here to sort of greet you and hand off the HQ once everyone arrives. And you're in a bit of a private meeting with him. And he turns and says, "Well, it looks like just about everyone has arrived except for that Astro Chimp. He's running a bit late, it seems."
Well, that's all right. He's coming from space. He might have a harder time getting here than most, unless he's developed the ability to fly. But I expect we'll see him.
Yes, good. Well, the speech will be in 45 minutes. Do you have everything ready for that?
Of course, I am always prepared to give a little inspiration to the masses.
Good, good. Well, Astro Chimp sure is cutting things a bit close. He checks his watch. So this has been quite a ride. You've done quite well putting this team together. I'm excited to see what happens.
Well, General, couldn't have been possible without you. I really appreciate all of your help. The Justicars don't just serve America, but the entire world, and so I really appreciate you sticking your neck out with us, to the government.
Yes, well, there are plenty who don't believe the government should be expending resources to this regard, but I think it should serve us best to have you with the full support. And there are certainly things that I'd much rather have you handling than our boys in uniforms. Oh, boys and girls, I should say. He would say girls.
And I appreciate
Our
that,
soldiers.
General. And I take this in the best way possible. But even if you weren't going to help us, we'd still be doing it anyway.
Yes, I think that part of the argument was actually helpful in swaying some of the necessary votes and getting going. So let's see. Let's take a look at the cameras here and check on your friends. Looks like Gravistar is settling in, and looks over at one of the monitors, and we see Gravistar, who is what part of the HQ is he currently checking out? And why don't you start by actually describing what Gravistar looks like? That's you, Bob. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
My bad, I was pushing the wrong button for push to talk. Anyhow, Gravistar's formerly human, but he's got definitely non-human appearance, pupilless eyes, red skin. That's not a uniform he wears. That's what his body looks like now. And he will be checking out the laboratory, of the new digs. First time here. He's being a scientist at heart.
Okay, yeah, checking things over. It's a pretty state-of-the-art laboratory. What's the thing he's currently, first looking into there?
Stuff like the mass spectrometers, and he's a geologist, so more of this, actual scientific study part of it. Check, seeing what kind of computer assisted, stuff he's got to work with.
All right, so yeah, it looks like Gravistar's walking over and pressing some buttons, and the general turns and says, "Oh, looks like he's already familiarizing himself with the internal systems." He checks his watch. Where is Astro Chimp? Then we cut over to Core, who is just probably just arrived only about within the last hour or so. So just getting the chance to check out this place. What was she drawn to first in this big building?
She walked right past the library for fear of getting absorbed and not being able to leave anytime soon. So she headed straight to the infirmary and kind of contemplated the steps that got her here, and thinks of her future and wonders how much time she's really going to be spending in this room right here.
All right, and go ahead and describe Core.
Core is very average. She is very short. She's 5'2", and she is fresh from her office job. She didn't ask for some of this treatment that she's been getting recently. So she's kind of flabbergasted by this whole thing. She's not currently in costume. She's kind of waiting to see if everyone else is doing it first before she joins in.
Oh, goodness. The general comments. It doesn't appear that she's in uniform yet.
It doesn't take her long to change. She's got magic,
Fair enough. I'll check in with the intercom soon, and the camera's goes over to I guess Whitney or Ether, And go ahead and describe Ether and what she's doing in the mansion. Ether, you've actually been here for like a full day or so because Opti's been sort of running around settling in the place here, and you sort of came in with him.
Yeah, so currently she's possessing a body of a vegetable. So
Like
it would
a
be...
rutabaga?
Yes. No, it would have been a person that was in the hospital, declared brain dead, completely, by all means, just not alive anymore, aside from just physically. So currently she's looking like this weird Stepford wife woman walking around, just kind of inspecting things. She's been kind of peeking around at just some of the decorations, peeking around behind doors, just taking a look at what's around, and that's kind of how she's been spending her time so far, just exploring.
And then the general says, and I'm not so sure about this one. You're taking an awful security risk with the person you picked up in the midst of perpetrating criminal operations.
Yeah.
She's not going to return her coat again.
Well, that's a good question, and I don't really have a great answer for you because the reality is you're absolutely right. But as I've always thought, and as I continue to believe...
As I've always thought, Opti, you're interrupted by this overwhelming vision, I guess is one way to say it. You've felt this before when the spirit of hope speaks to you and tells you something important, and you are trapped in a bed of some kind, shackled down, something over your face, you're having trouble breathing, there's stuff on your head, and someone's leaning over you and saying, he's regaining consciousness. Well, we need him back under to continue the transfer of information. We need to maintain the ruse just long enough. And it cuts back to like you're sort of like back in the room, and you realize you've kind of collapsed onto the floor. And the general looks over at you. What's the matter? And at that point, Astro Chimp, you're making your arrival in your spacecraft. So go ahead and describe your entrance.
It's not a spacecraft. Fortunately, it's so recently Astro Chimp has invented a fusion-powered jetpack. So everybody will see a streak of light just flowing through the sky as he comes down, and followed by a sonic boom as he starts accelerating very fast. And yeah.
I take it you're gonna buzz over the crowd and sort of pause for a photo first.
Yeah, I'll be just like high-fiving people as I fly past them.
At the speed of sound.
One of the protesters who's got a sign that says "No Supers" in one hand is like raising his other hand and going, "Yay, Astro Chimp!"
Yeah, I'm gonna get like a marker and or draw like a little chimp face as I fly past the protester.
Did he fly all the way from the space station in a space chute in a jetpack?
Yeah, yes, he did.
Wow.
All right, and where do you head first in this building? It's actually your first time here. You're probably pulling up a map with some schematics on the flight down.
Yeah, I fly down. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna go to the kitchen, I guess, because he's been eating food from a tube for the last couple of months, and he needs some like real food.
All right, so you come down to land on this patio and open the sliding door to move on into the kitchen. And at that point, we cut back to the general saying, "Oh, good, he's back. It's time." And then, Opti, you sort of feel the wave of the vision coming back on you, and you're now seeing the man who was strapped in the bed, and it's not like a normal hospital bed, but some sort of like weird like mad scientist wired up pod thing with all sorts of gizmos attached to him that doesn't look like normal hospital stuff. And you recognize that this is General Maxon, and you know for some reason that you're seeing General Maxon alive right now in this moment, which means that the person you're in the room with cannot be General Maxon.
Oh, so I'm aware that the person I'm seeing in my vision is General Maxon, and I'm seeing it in real time.
Yeah, this is what you're just realizing now as your vision finishes, and then you look up and you see General Maxon kind of standing over you with not so much of a look of concern on his face.
I see.
It's more of a triumphant smile. And at that point, a lot of things happen.
Okay. Time to catch my breath from my visions, so I catch a breath.
First off, all of the power in the mansion shuts down, and emergency red lights click on. And then a whole bunch of blast doors, like big metal shuttered doors, slide down into place, locking separate rooms within the mansion apart, so it's all compartmentalized. And then the turret systems deploy in the different rooms. But also at about that time, like in sort of the main sort of entrance room where no one currently is hanging out, there's a flash of light, and there suddenly appears to be like three unusual forms there. One is this guy who's got like this tall, pointy collared, like high collared robe and a staff, and he's got this pointy sort of Fu Manchu goatee mustache thing going on, but also looks pretty young. Definitely has this weird wizard air about him. And standing next to him is this really, really weird looking like big humanoid lizard, like maybe 10 feet tall, with these huge robotic arms and a cannon on its back and like a big tail. And then there's like a this drone thing that looks like a kind of like a mini UFO shell with these little tentacle legs coming off it. It's moving around, and all but the little robot suddenly seem to be staggered and hold their heads for a moment, and the wizard person steadies himself on this big pulsing crystal thing that's next to him, and at that point the reptile thing turns to the side and throws up, and the drone says, "Jesus, Sue, get yourself together. This isn't the first time we've teleported via magic. Do you have that thing up and running yet, Chaos Lord?" "I'm focusing on summoning all the powers of the universe. Let me concentrate." And then there's this sort of dark flash of light, and the mansion is suddenly covered in a large black dome. Well, there's some other stuff happening outside, but right now you're all fairly focused on what's happening to you right now. So I guess let's go in initiative order. So go ahead and everybody roll your initiative.
I got...
Sorry, that was a private roll.
Okay, so I think
24. Holy moly.
Astro Chimp on 26. So Astro Chimp, you just got into the kitchen, you taking a look around, you located the fridge, popped it open, taking a look. Yeah, it's pretty well stocked here, and then suddenly the whole place goes into lockdown.
Astral Chimp looks around and he just sighs. He grabs he'll look for a Nutella container, grab it, just start scooping it out with his hand and putting it in his mouth, and so good. Okay, right. He puts his hand. He takes out his little laser pistol, which he named after Buzz Aldrin, and it actually has a face of Buzz Aldrin, sort of etched in the side. And he says, no rest for a hard-working chimp. And then he's gonna fly off and look for, try to locate the source of whatever is going on. What's the problem?
Okay, you start to go fly off and find that, the kitchen goes out to the dining room and another adjoining sort of chamber and hall. And there's a number of you can see the hallway opens up, and you're pulling up schematics on your little display on your monocle or whatever, and you can tell that it looks like you've got more or less run of most of the first floor, as long as you don't want to go into any of the rooms, because they're all locked down. But you can start to kind of fly around here, and that's when you see out in the hall, kind of looking around, and perhaps a bit startled, is Ether, who is next on 24.
You said that all of the doors and stuff closed up?
Yeah, not just normal doors, too, like these blast door things, big metal reinforced stuff just came slamming down.
Okay, and what room were we in?
You're out kind of in one of the hallways.
Okay.
You're just sort of checking things out, meandering from one room to another, and you happen to be out in one of the halls on the first floor when the lockdown happened.
I'm gonna roll underneath one of the, like, if there's like a cabinet or something like that that's out there that has like enough space off the floor, and then leave the body behind. Can I do that?
Yep.
Is that cool?
So Astro Chimp, it looks like Ether, who you've probably met before in setting things up, and you can recognize her body. She rolls to the side and goes unconscious. You've heard about this, but this is the first time you've seen it. And because it's the first time the audience is seeing it, Ether, why don't you just go ahead and describe what's going on here with you?
I don't have a body. So basically, I am stowing away the body that I currently have so that it won't be in the way of things and that no one has to weekend at Bernie's me for the time being. So, yeah, I'm a ghost for now.
All right. So, Astro Chimp, you'll see that he has Nutella all over his mouth. He makes a holographic display. It's like, ghosts, real? ? Types it down.
Am I able to actually communicate or no? We never really talked about that.
You're insubstantial, and I think you're concealed for that. Do you have any control over whether or not you can appear or speak? Or are you...
don't think we talked about that, so you can make that decision for me.
I think let's ask Bob, because didn't you have a hand with helping with some of the stats? Or was that just with Sarah's character?
Everybody except Ether.
I helped out with Ether. She should not be able to communicate while she's in her ghost form.
Okay. I'm going to try to did you get any Nutella on the ground at all? Was there Nutella on the ground?
Yeah, he probably threw the Nutella bottle somewhere.
Okay,
because he was flying and eating it at the same time.
I'm gonna use some of the Nutella and write on the wall, kind of smear it to be like, "Hello, it me."
So it's you must be the ethereal superpower, ethereal metahuman that Opti was going all about. So he sees a lot of good, and he sees a good potential in you, and then he grits, and he doesn't even bother introducing himself because he's Astro Chimp and everybody knows who he is.
I'm just gonna basically use the Nutella and just kind of smear it towards a direction that I'm gonna start going in, just to let him know where I'm headed. That's all I got.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to cut to Opti then. Who you're up in this enclosed office. The windows and exiting door here have been shuttered by the big metal blast door things, and you're in here with, not General Maxon, if your vision can be trusted. Has the Spirit of Hope ever steered you wrong before?
No. Every potential future or vision I've ever gotten has always been exactly what I needed to see at the moment. So, I'll say, General, it looks like we're under attack by some sort of strange creatures. Why don't you head down the hallway there, and I'll follow you, and we can attack them head on together.
All right, then, Gravistar, it's your turn.
I was going to wait to see if he turned, and then I was going to hit him in the back of the head.
You can hold your action then till his turn, which is coming up soon.
I will hold my action.
And right now it's Gravistar's turn. You're just getting this mass calibration thingamabobber up and running, and now it just shut down and lost power. And the whole place is under lockdown. You're in the laboratory, which has now been shut off by a double barrier of doors. There's sort of an airlock system to close things off in case of, I don't know, dangerous things happening in the laboratory.
Well, first off, see if I can access the security system, see what it tells me, if anything.
All right, how are you going to do that?
Well, I'm hoping there's like some type of manual controls by the door.
Okay, so you're looking for some sort of manual control override or some way to like get to the system. The main terminals aren't working, so that's not going to do. I think this calls for a skill check. I think technology, unless you've got something else more appropriate.
Nah, probably technology.
All right, with an 18, that's pretty good. You managed to figure out how to kind of get access to, I guess, one of the main access points. You don't have a way to interact with it yet, and it looks like there's some sort of a powerful like software firewall lockdown as well. That's preventing you from getting further access. You'll have to hack it if you want to get further in. But yes. You're supposed to have access to the place. I mean, you should. I guess you haven't really been briefed and given the override codes yet.
Definitely something to miss here.
Yeah, that's actually supposed to happen later this afternoon. But it looks like you're locked out of it for now, unless you can find a workaround. And then at that point on 18, that's when I'm gonna have all the bad guys go, including General Max, and we'll start with him. He turns to you, and his eyes start to glow red, and he starts to speak. And as he speaks, smoke starts to come out of his mouth a bit, and he says, "Oh no, this will be the end, the death of three things today: the Justicars, Hope, and you."
Can't we talk this out?
And you can see he's like starting to glow internally, like reddish, and you're pretty sure this isn't like a normal human person body or whatever. Whatever he's doing, it seems like he's getting hotter.
Well, can...
Yeah, you had a held action, so feel free to react.
Yeah, I was gonna just sock him in the back of the neck when he turned around, but instead... It looks like he's getting hotter, so I'm going to use my Ray of Hope. It sounds nicer than it is, but basically it's like a force of blue energy that just shoots from my hands, and I'm gonna try to knock him over. Because when a villain gets to this point, there's really no talking him down. At least that's been my experience. So here we go. Bam.
All right, you're gonna blast him.
That's a 30 to hit.
All right, that's almost certainly gonna hit. But just to make sure I've got this straight, I haven't played Mutants and Masterminds in ages. It's the difficulty is 10 plus his dodge.
Yeah, so he's going to be rolling his dodge plus 10.
Oh, I roll for that then. Got it. All right. Either way.
I'm sorry, not plus 10. My roll is plus 10. You're going to be rolling a 20 plus his dodge.
Gotcha. So yeah, he doesn't really seem to move much. It's like a little bit to the side. Like maybe I should, but he more or less takes the full blast. What's the damage rating on that?
27.
So he has a toughness check. Roll a d20, add my toughness bonus, and I want to get a 27.
Pretty much.
I failed by like a lot. So you actually, I rolled a 1, so that's a total multiple failure here. So you blasted him, and it was good enough to actually like destroy him. and you blast him with a ray of hope. It just tears off this thing's head in like bits and pieces that seem like flesh at first, but underneath there's like wires and tubes and stuff. This is some sort of a robot, and you can see like inside there's some sort of a like in his like within his torso cage as it's ripped open by the ray of hope in a what would normally be gory and creepy, but instead this is like something else entirely. As you see, like there's some sort of like big bomb looking apparatus set up in there, and it looks like he wrecked it. It's starting to cool off now.
I was really scared there for a second. My ray of hope has never killed anybody before, so seeing it get blown apart was I was starting to have a little bit of a existential crisis about who I am in the world. But robots, that's good. And then I see the bomb. It's like, oh, that's bad. Hey guys, I killed some. Oh wait, never mind. False alarm. Well, no, real alarm. There's a bomb.
All right, then we're going to cut back to the opening, which is something the player characters are unaware of, but for the sake of the people turning the pages in the comic book here, there's the wizard has stepped back from the crystal, which is glowing brightly, and he seems to be resting, holding his head a bit. He's taken out a bottle of probably the most expensive, pretentious brand of bottled water available, and is taking a sip from it. And the little drone thing is in the process of setting up and deploying these little smaller versions of itself, which don't seem to have tentacles but have little gun turrets on them. They're about the size of like a small, like a Warhammer 40K tank, but they each fly up and turn and take up perimeters, take up a perimeter around the group. The lizard person sort of stomps around a bit and comes back around. And we get a much better view of her now from the front. She looks like a T-Rex, but somewhat more humanoid in shape. But she's still kind of got that general T-Rex shape. You know, the big sort of forward head with the big jaw, and there's a little speaker next to her head, from which comes her voice. And she says, "All right, how long is this going to take? Is that going to hold long enough?" And the voice coming out is sort of like a normal sounding female human voice, but this is definitely like a big T-Rex looking thing. And yeah, there are these big robotic arms that are attached to this like assembly that she's wearing. Like a frame kind of goes over her head and then has the dorsal cannon mounted on it. But like actually on the front of her chest, there are a couple of little like laptop style computer panels with the keyboards, and there's two like really short arms that she's using to type on them and move joysticks.
These are the weirdest villains. It's like drinking Avion water out of Warhammer shakes.
and then the robot thing on the tentacles says, "All right, I've got access to their security systems. Opening fire now." And all of you who are, let's see, Opti, there isn't a turret in the office that you're in currently, but in the laboratory and in the hallway where Astrochimp is, and in the infirmary where, yes, there's
making guns in the infirmary.
And in the infirmary where Core is, this little turret pops down and like turns and like powers up and fires out a beam at each of you. So
like our base is turning against us.
Yes, it looks like the base's defenses are firing on you. And let's see, that would be each of you, everyone except for Opti and Ether. You must make a dodge roll.
Are we able to communicate? Do we have just a communicators?
You more or less have each other's cell phone numbers at this point. You haven't passed out the just a communicators yet.
There's got to be a better name for that. Chat, help us out with what we call our communicators. Just a calls.
All right, so one thing I'd like to ask those of you who are like the players in the room, would you please just call out your dice roll numbers verbally? So if anyone's just, because if it's just me saying it, that's just more of me talking, which you guys have plenty of that already. And other people maybe, may have it up on the screen and might not be able to see. So So Lang got a 24, Gravistar got a 22. Core, what was your dodge result?
6.
Okay, so yeah, you're just like looking around and maybe a little bit surprised by this. The turret thing pops down. You're like, what is that? That can't be a... And yes, indeed, they do have guns in the system. And you're blasted by one of them. So go ahead and make a toughness roll. D20 with your toughness save bonus to see how well you handle being shot.
16.
Okay, 16 is 2 levels of failure. So I think you're dazed as well as you're essentially -1 right now to any further damage resistance rolls. And that'll be cumulative as you take more damage. Dazed also means that you can only take a standard action on your turn, and not a standard and a move. So at that point now, it's your guys' turn. And actually, end of the round, I want to narrate something else that's happening. Out front, a whole bunch of people are looking up and like seeing this dome pop up, and some people are cheering, other people are going like, I don't think that looks normal. Is that part of the show? And then Sealy and the Butterflies opens up with their guitarist lets loose with a dissonant chord, and the lead singer steps up and begins to sing. And as she begins to sing, the dome toward the back, it starts to shimmer a bit, and it looks like there's some sort of image starting to appear on it, but it's not coming to focus yet. And we'll go around
like
to top
on
the
the
next
dome?
round. Yeah, Astro.
All right. So, Astro Jim sees the turrets come up. So how many turrets are in the room with me? And me and...
Well, you guys are currently out in a hallway. There's really only one that has a field of fire on you, but there's probably at least 2 more along the whole length of this hall from one side to another. But it goes kind of around some of the spaces. And actually, Astro Chimp and Ether, give me a... Sorry, newer to the system. Whatever the skill check is for perception. Is it just perception, or is there a separate listen and spot?
There is perception is actually a skill.
All right, perception it is. See if you can hear stuff.
I got 29.
I'm just gonna hold on.
Also, if it helps, I also have Ultra Hearing and Dark Vision.
I got 27.
Okay, so yeah, Ether, you definitely hear what sounds like voices in the next room. Like, you think the room to your right may be like the entrance foyer, and Lang, you can make out what they're saying, including the recent conversation about having access to the security systems and opening fire.
All right. So, so Usher Shim just has an exaggerated roll of his eyes. He's like, turrets again. And he's going to try to fly through the hallway. And as he moves with his multi-attack from his thing, he's going to try to shoot out all the turrets he can see. I can shoot up to 3 turrets.
Okay, so you buzz the turrets in the hall then. Just make 1 attack roll for all 3.
It's a 24.
Okay, you take out all 3 of the turrets. They don't really dodge or anything.
All right. So I can move by action. That means I can move after I take actions. So I'm basically going to try to move towards where I hear the conversation coming from, where I assume where Optimist is. And can I... let's see. I don't think I can do this with move action again. But is there any way I can use my strength to just like break through the wall?
The wall's pretty heavy reinforced stuff here, so I think it'll take a more concerted attack, and you've already used your standard action.
All right.
You've also done a fair bit of movement. I'll say that you're able to figure out that this hall kind of curves around the entrance foyer room chamber, which is where all that conversation is happening, and you're pretty sure you heard Opti's voice, or you've got Opti's location up on the 2nd floor. You're not sure where Gravistar or Core are currently.
Cliff, is this the second round?
This is.
Okay, I didn't get to go.
I'm sorry, I skipped you, didn't I? Yes. I did the end of the round with the enemies, and I thought all the heroes went first. So, yeah, feel free to speak up if I do that. Sorry about that.
Sure, no problem. Do you want to finish Lang's turn since you're halfway through?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Pretty much done with his turn anyway. He flew around and shot out some turrets. It won't really affect where you are.
Cool. Are we? So I'm in the infirmary. Did the door seal?
Yeah, you look over and there's a big metal blast door thing sealing you into this room with this killer turret thing. It just blasted you with an energy bolt.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and shift into my centaur form, and that's really all I can do because I'm dazed.
All right, you transform into a centaur. How does your transformation process work? Is it like a poof and magical light and glitter, or is it more of like a Animorphs gradual change thing? Does it hurt?
It's a gradual change. No, it doesn't really hurt, but as I shift, I pull from my bag a silver branch, and as my limbs start to transform and I start to grow in size, the silver branch seems to like melt into part of me. So along the flanks of the centaur is the silver branch, kind of like as part of the horse.
Awesome. You're a magnificent centaur in a dark room with a gun pointed at you.
Yeah, not happy.
All right, so yeah, top of the round, we did Astro first. Next, we'll go with Ether. You saw Astro Chimp go flying around quickly through the place and blasted all those turrets.
Are there any people? Do I see any people?
You don't see any, but you think you heard some in that next room.
Okay.
I think you can just fly through walls, can't you?
I'm going to go through the wall and...
Okay, you go through the wall, and yeah, you see there's this big dinosaur-looking thing with robot arms. There's this like robot thing on tentacles with a bunch of mini robots. There's this weird pulsing magical crystal thing just kind of in the middle of the room, and standing next to that is this kind of wizard-looking dude in over the top like dark wizard garb. Currently finishing off a bottle of bottled water and dabbing at his forehead.
I think they might be a little out of my...
He turns and sees you.
Oh.
And drops his water bottle.
How dare you make me drop my water bottle?
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to just possess the next person I see. So probably the wizard man saw me, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to possess the person with the rope or the T-Rex thing with the robot arms. I'm probably not going to be able to because I'm sure that that's a higher roll than. But I'll try.
All right. So with your possession power, do you have to make an attack roll for that, or do they just roll resistance?
I think they just roll resistance because I have an AC on that. Or not AC, I'm sorry. I have a DC on that of 22.
Okay, so you go to hop into this lizard person, and they seem oblivious to you. They're kind of moving around the room and acting a bit agitated, swishing the tail back and forth. But you go to enter into their mind and their body, and you're pushed back out. There's a strong force of will there.
Cool. I think I can't do anything else my turn, right? Or I can.
Let's see, I think you did your move and your
Yeah, I did
attack.
my move and my attack, so yeah.
Okay, next is Opti. So you've dismantled the killer robot that was sent to blow you up in place of General Maxon.
But there's
now
a
you're
bomb,
locked up in a room with him.
right? Yeah.
There's a bomb there, and it looks like it was like starting to warm up to blow up. And what you did actually shut it down in time.
Oh,
Maybe.
all
It
right.
might still go off later, though. You probably want to have somebody who knows about bombs look it over. You probably don't want to touch it or move it, though.
All right. In the meantime, what I
looks like a
can
big
do is I can put a sort of force field around it and like carry it, right? So just kind of take it along with me. Like I put a little construct around it. And so
All right, that's all well and good, but you're pretty well closed up in this room.
Oh, okay. There is a door though, right? Just one that had shut.
Yeah, there was the nice like oak door, but now it has a big metal door over it.
All right. Well, let's see what I can crank up. There's nobody else in the room with me, right? And I don't have any evidence that somebody's trying to get in.
Doesn't seem like it. They probably meant to lock you in here and blow you up.
I wonder
I was really looking forward to that.
I wonder if they knew the extent of my power or not. Why don't we just try to break out? Like, I'll just try to attack the reinforced metal door that came down over the normal door.
Okay.
So this time, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Just pure force of hope. And that is... it's a 13. Oh, shoot. I rolled a 1. That's a natural 1. That's what that is. So I aimed and somehow missed the door.
It's dark.
Right? I was distracted with this bomb. I swear this has never happened to me before.
Considering the wall next to it is like a reinforced, wall that it's roughly the same toughness as the door. It doesn't really matter whether you hit the door or the walls. So, I guess the hit roll doesn't matter so much. What's the damage rating?
27.
All right. You blast the wall and, you actually managed to put a hole in it. Might be big enough for you to get through.
Well, then I'll go ahead and give it a shot.
Okay. You go and climb through the wall.
Do I see anybody on the other side?
On the second floor. It's doesn't look like anyone's out here with you. No, the infirmary's just down the hall and to your right. And there's you do happen to notice that there's a turret deployed in the hallway up here that you can see.
Ah.
Looks like it's searching for targets.
It will find me a willing target.
That it will. And Gravistar, it's your turn. Push the talk button. Or whatever is making you silent. I see your mouth move. Alright, as Gravistar is doing that, I'm going to cut to the turret that is in the room with Core and Opti. Each of you make a dodge roll as you're being shot at by one of the base system's turrets.
Are we in the
Opti
same
looks like
room
it
now?
found a target. No, Opti's out in the hallway
Gotcha.
near you. He's getting shot at by a different turret. Bob, we still can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Something's happened to Gravistar.
All right, Core and Optimist both managed to dodge out of the path of the blaster bolts.
Yeah.
Gravistar might be getting shot at one. He might not. I'm not sure what he's doing yet. So we'll come back to Gravistar's turn as
How about now?
we finish.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey.
Yay! It's your turn.
Apparently my new microphone has a mute button I didn't know. All right. First off, I activate my cosmic shield just in case that turret lands a shot on me. And then I'm going to try to hack the security system to open this blast door.
All right, make your roll for that. It'll be opposed by the enemy hacker.
23.
Okay, you're trying to do it. You get past the initial firewall, another one pops up, and yeah, before long you realize you're like, this is sort of an active hacking duel, and it doesn't look like, it looks like the other person really knows what they're doing. You might be in over your head here. Yeah, and then the gun shoots at you, so make a dodge roll. And with a 25, that just misses you. All right, Core, it's your turn. You're a beautiful centaur in a dark infirmary being shot at by a auto turret system.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn my back on that door and kick it as hard as I can.
All right. You don't really have to make an attack roll. What's your damage with a kick in this form?
In this form, I get 8.
Okay, unlikely as it is, I'm not sure if I had to check to make sure I grab D20s that aren't like those D10s that have like, it's a D20 with 1 through 10 in it twice. I keep getting single digits and low ones at that. But yeah, you managed to like kick it and sort of dent the door and give it another kick, and it's sort of pushed back enough for you to be able to squeeze out if you want.
If all else fails, I can always just change shape to something smaller again.
All right,
So,
do you want
what was that?
do you want to squeeze out and leave the infirmary, or are you going to do something else?
Yeah, I want to make it into the hallway.
Okay, you end up kind of kneeling down and squeezing out through the corner here where you peeled that door open with your kicks. And yeah, you see there's another turret out in this hallway, but it's currently got its gun turned away from you because it's shooting it at the Optimist.
Bring it on.
And at the end of this round, yeah, the image on the dome for those people outside seems to coalesce. It's got kind of a smooth image to it. It's not pixelated or anything. It's a magical illusion effect that's causing the image on the dome, and it coalesces into, well, kind of a face. There's a man wearing some sort of a dark black mask that's relatively featureless. It's covering the eyes, but it's all like dark leather. It kind of hangs down below where the chin would be, so you more or less just get the profile of the face and kind of these disturbing dark divots where the eye sockets would be or where the eyes would be. How does he see through that? That's ridiculous. And he's got some sort of like fancy high-shouldered outfit on behind, but you can really only see like the top of his shoulders and his head. And he seems to be have some sort of a multicolored cape on with an unusual like orange and black pattern, but he speaks, and it sort of reverberates out into the air around, causing the trees to rustle out in a ripple. And he begins his speech. He says, in a deep voice that doesn't seem to be masked by anything in particular. It's just like a deep, booming James Earl Jones kind of voice. This city is not for the Justicars to claim. It is not for the politicians, the business owners, or for their many willing slaves. Proudhaven does not belong to its police force or the pitiful, corrupt swine who call themselves criminals. And then we'll get to the next round. It is Astrochim's turn.
Right. So Astrochim is going to. So he just saw Ether phase through the wall.
I don't think you have a way to perceive Ether when she's in this form.
I had used to tell it to contact you.
Yeah, you saw the smear and then it stops there.
Right. So, all right. But, all right. So then I'll go with Astrochim heard voices coming from outside and for this perception check before. So he's going to try to fly that way and use his action to punch a hole in the wall.
All right. Go ahead and attack the wall. Well, just tell me what your damage is.
So damage for my physical attacks is 8, so it's 15 plus 8.
Okay.
It's 23, yeah. So there you go.
You zoom her up dramatically, go to punch up at the wall, and bounce right off it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a toughness save.
Toughness save, all right. If the damage is less than 8, I don't take damage.
Oh, you're fine then. Never mind. You didn't have to roll that even, but
all right,
you got bouncing off. That didn't work so well.
So he, he thinks to himself, damn it, I shouldn't have given Opti access to the super alloys. This is going to be a pain in my tuchus.
All right, I'm going to cut to someone I forgot to have act last round on their turn. The wizard inside, Chaos Lord, who had dropped his water bottle, he points over at where Ether and says, "There's one that's right on you. Look out, look out." Ah, damn it. He reaches for a staff and says, "Mantas Palatas Nobis!" And there's this blast that fires out at Ether. Go ahead and make a dodge roll, Ether, as you're being blasted with a spell. He seems confident that it'll work on a ghost.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm trying to... Scroll, sorry. Oh my god. Sorry, roll 20 froze. Okay. You said a dodge?
Yep.
Okay. 28.
Ooh, and I got a 29.
Oh shit.
There's this sort of a blue trailing comet of magical force that fires out so fast it looks like a beam, and you almost get out of the way, but then you feel it hit you, and you feel it hit you. Go ahead and roll a toughness save.
Okay. 19.
Okay, so you didn't fail by too much, so you're just going to take a -1 to future damage resistance tests.
Okay.
But yeah, you feel this fiery nimbus of pain lash across your calves as the magical energy strikes you.
Oh.
That spell hurt. They aren't supposed to hurt you when you're in this form. And it's your turn.
It's my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
I went a little out of order there, but...
That's okay. I'm going to try to possess the T-Rex again, but this time I'm going to use the intelligent creature possession that I have.
Okay, yeah, and the T-Rex is whipping back and forth, grabbing at its shoulder with its robotic arms, going, Where?
Do you need me to roll that?
So, you're going to possess her. It's a will save?
It's a high intelligence. Yeah, it's a will save.
And what's my difficulty?
I think it's still 22. I could be looking at that wrong.
If the power is level 12, it should be difficulty 22.
Okay.
With the 23, though, yeah, she manages to resist you.
Dang. Okay.
You definitely get the sense that this is an intelligent creature or person, maybe. Yeah, and they've got a strong force of will. You typically expect the big dumb ones to be the easy targets for this sort of thing, but maybe she built that robot stuff she's wearing.
Okay. That was my movement and my attack.
All right, then we have Opti. Opti, you heard a couple of banging sounds and saw a centaur a beautiful centaur come crawling out of the infirmary. You're pretty sure that's Core.
Core, glad to see that you're okay. Hey, that's a pretty neat centaur. Have you seen the others? He asks Core.
No audio there, Sarah.
No, I haven't seen anyone yet. Sorry.
No problem. Why don't we go find them together?
I'll follow your lead.
All right, and I take off down the hallway.
All right,
flying
how fast
at
do you move?
Well, I can move pretty fast, but in the hallway, I'm gonna just move as fast as I think that Core can keep up with in her equine form.
Okay, we'll sort of bundle your movement in here and speed things along. And that you sort of spin around and get down the stairs and come around to sort of the main hall and see Astro Chimp sort of looks like he's like back down on his butt, starting to stand back up. Something must have knocked him over. You don't see anything else in the room though.
Well, definitely going to take my turn and help up Astro Chimp. Now, Obo, good to see you. I'm glad you made it.
So he gets up and looks at Optimist in the face and says, it's like you have to. I like what you've done with your beard. It looks nice.
Oh, thank you. Is that Nutella?
Oh, yeah. He just kind of like rubs it off on his, multi-billion-dollar super suit sleeves.
Any idea who we're up against? General Maxon was actually a robot in disguise. He's transformed into a bomb once I blew him up. But thankfully, he was a robot. No actual generals were harmed in the making of this escape attempt. Anyway.
Robots, you say? Could
Well,
be the
at least
nefarious...
The general, I believe, is still trapped somewhere, so we're going to have to rescue him at some point.
Could possibly be the nefarious work of the Society of Mad Engineers. They have been after me after I took down their last world-ending death robot.
Optimus is having a hard time paying attention to anything he says because his breath smells so strongly of Nutella that Opti's finding himself wanting some ice cream with Nutella.
All right, we'll cut to Gravistar alone in the laboratory in the basement.
Alrighty. Well, since hacking is going to take much longer, I'm just going to use my gravikinesis to force the door open.
Okay. Let's see. You don't really have to do an attack roll or something for that. What's the...
Nah, it lets me move 20.
Oh, yeah, you just open it right up. Gravity control the door open. Well, sort of. I mean, it's not like open in the sense you could just open it and close it easily afterwards.
Yeah, it's going to need repaired. And then make my way upstairs.
All right. And how do you move?
I fly, and I can fly as fast as the confined spaces will allow me.
Okay, you go flying up and find yourself in the hall upstairs. And there's some people gathered here. Looks like Optimist and a beautiful centaur, must be Core, and Astro Chimp.
Grav! Good to see you.
Yeah, while I like the lab you got me locked in down there, there's something going on here.
Oh, no, it's all an elaborate training exercise. Didn't you get the memo?
Afraid not, sir.
Right. No, that was a joke, Grav. Ignore what I just said. That wasn't true. That was just a joke. Say, has anyone seen Ether? Well, you probably wouldn't have. Anyway, we should find her.
As you say that, you kind of look over and see like a couple of feet sticking out from underneath the cabinet in the hallway. You think she must have ditched her body.
Well, it appears that Aether's out doing stuff. Let's just assume that she's going to be with us and headed in the right direction. And maybe we should keep her body safe.
All right, so cutting to the entry foyer area, there's the T-Rex looking thing who's stomping around now saying, "Get it off me! Get it off me!" And the mage who just blasted at Ether. The robot is saying, someone's trying to counterhack. Damn it. Hey, do you guys want me to open one of these doors? Hey, wait a minute. Shouldn't the bomb have gone off by now? And that robot just keeps chattering along. And Chaos Lord says, something went wrong with the bomb. I'm going to have to call in the reinforcements. Just try not to get possessed. And he he turns away from what's going on and towards like the front door and focuses his concentration, holds out his hands, says, "Come for you, and you come because I called you. Chaos Lord, come to my call as I summon." And then this big arc of fire rises up over a few feet away from him and forms this ring, and suddenly from out of it come these dudes in armor and guns. They kind of look like a paramilitary force, and they start to move on out and wave their guns around. Sue's sort of running out of the room, swatting around. Says, I think I'm okay. I don't think it's working. Just keep it off me. And I'm going to try to figure out what happened. And yeah, again, this is like a kind of a normal human female voice coming from a little tinny speaker next to this big T-Rex thing. And so she's working the joysticks and control panels with her little arms. As the big robot arms are swinging, and she goes running up to one of the doors and just whomp, gives it a punch. And it goes flying off the frame and slams across the opposing wall. You guys can hear that big sound and racket from just around the corner to your left, and you can kind of see the dust flying out from the impact. Sounds like somebody's opened one of the doors. And then we get to Core's turn.
That's a lot happening. I look around me at the chaos happening and at my team and go, are they all right? Do we need to help them? They seem alarmed.
Who?
I mean, that guy dropped his water, and this one's running around, shaking at something invisible around it.
Yeah, this is all stuff that Ether is seeing in the next room. You're in the hallway just outside.
Oh, I see. Sorry about that.
You didn't actually get to witness that. You hear a bunch of stomping around, and then, the door getting knocked off.
Fair enough. We should go that way and make sure everyone's all right.
I like that idea.
I take off that direction. Okay. And again,
you go running around that way, and you come around the corner, and you find yourself face to face with this 10-foot tall T-Rex looking thing with big old robot arms and a dorsal cannon. And yeah, two little small arms that are working some joysticks and control panels that are mounted on the front chest part. They seem just as startled to see you as you might have been to see them. Oh, says the feminine voice there. What do you do?
I kind of look at this giant T-Rex monstrosity and go, I could do that too. And I'm going to start shifting.
All right. What are you shifting into?
A giant T-Rex thing.
Oh.
Nice.
Why not? Challenge accepted.
All right, you probably can't do like a full-size T-Rex, but this is still a pretty big hallway, so you can go with a pretty good-sized dinosaur.
Cool beans. Yeah, I'm trying to match the one in front of me, basically. Maybe be a little bigger, because I want to be better.
All right, at the end of the combat round, we pan around to the outside, and you see, actually, we'll go with around the city. People are, getting their coffee at a Starbucks or are picking up their food at from a food stand. They're seeing on the news this dome thing, hey, what's going on? They're opening the new Justicars. They must be doing some event. No, I think there's something wrong. It's like a new supervillain or something. Listen, they start turning up the volume level, and you hear more of the speech as the dome, the figure that's projected in the dome says, "This city belongs to me, for I am monarch. You are all my serfs, though the worthy among you may rule under me as my vassals. The would-be Justicars are currently indisposed, perhaps even dying. Take action, Those of you who wish to become supervillains and rule Proud Haven and then the world with me, make me proud. And then the image disappears. There's this black dome covering there. You're all unaware of this, though. I guess. Astro Chimp, you might be aware that you're currently. Seems like you're not really getting any signals from outside. Everything seems to be jammed at the moment.
Right. So the door is open, right? The door leading outside.
Well, there's a door that attaches this hallway to this big entrance room foyer. There's actually 3 of them, like in different spots around that hall. We haven't really worked with a map on here, so I'm just kind of describing it as needed. And just around the corner from the hallway where you just were, one of those doors has been knocked off by a giant T-Rex with robot arms.
Oh yeah, okay. So just making.
Cole went running around the corner, and then you see a big old dinosaur tail appear from around the corner. She must have transformed too.
All right. So is the dinosaur blocking the hole in the door in any way, or can I fly out?
Well, if you go flying over that way, it looks like there's a couple of dinosaurs kind of blocking that hallway. You might be able to squeeze past them.
All right. So if we can squeeze past them, I want to squeeze. I'll see. Does one of them obviously look like like a transformed core or?
Well, Core, how do your friends recognize you when you're in other forms? Is there a...
If they know me well enough, they'll see the silver branch along probably the biggest part, so the T-Rex's leg.
Yeah, I'm almost picturing Astro Chimp's visual sensors doing scanning, doing an image scan with a little thing, and a little square finally forms around where that symbol is as symbol
also,
found. Friendly target.
Also, the other one is way more aggressive.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at Core, and I will have faith in her ability to go dinosaur to dinosaur, and I will fly past the 2 dinosaurs.
All right, give me a flight skill test of some kind, acrobatics or flight if you got it.
Yeah, I have flight, so do I just roll D20 plus my flight?
Yep.
Right, so it's not set up, so my flight rank is 10, so I'll just roll a D. So it'll be 25.
Okay, yep, that's good enough. You kind of fly through and pull off some spinning maneuver and go underneath the armpit between the giant robot arm and the tiny T-Rex arm of Sue. And slip past, and you find that sort of empty or sort of big opened door where she more or less punched a hole in the wall to get through the door. And looking in there, it looks like there's a number of mini robots flying around this one central drone, which is maybe about the size of I guess it's about 1 meter long and about a half a meter wide, and then there's the big crystal thing, and standing near that is the wizard dude and the purple fiery portal that the soldiers are coming out of. It's quite the scene.
Right. Would I be able to, with an investigation check, sort of survey the area and see who is kind of creating the portal and what his
pretty
power...
obvious. And what his power source is, you're not sure. He's doing something you don't understand.
All right. So would I be able to, with the investigation check, figure that out?
No, that would be more of an arcane type test.
Okay, that's fine. So obviously, big wizard guy. I'm gonna take my gun out. I'm not sure what's going on, but trial and error. So he takes the gun out and he says, looks at the wizard guy and he says, "Hey, you! It's wobbly fingers. Got terrible fashion sense." And then he's gonna shoot him. So that's a 24.
Do ties go to the attacker or to the defender in a dodge roll? Anybody know off the top of their head? Because he rolled the same number.
If I'm not mistaken, it goes to attacker.
Okay, we'll go with that. So you blast him, but he sees you and just sort of jumps, kind of goes to leap out of the way, but you manage to hit him with your laser. What's the damage?
This 25 DC is... The DC is 25, yeah.
Okay, he goes, ow! As you shoot him. Looks like you hurt him, but didn't take him down.
And, he's gonna... So, like, the laser heats up, the barrel heats up, and just, like, smoke coming from it. He's gonna do the classic, blow the smoke from the barrel, but his head is inside the helmet, so it doesn't do it. His helmet just gets fogged up.
And then we go to Ether's turn.
Sorry, it was for a second. Yeah, I'm actually that.
There's more people in here now.
That's true. But that crystal thing that you said was in the middle of the room, is that still there?
Yes, it has not moved.
Does it look like it's electrical?
It's definitely glowing and giving off some sort of power, but it doesn't look like electrical power to you.
Okay. All right, then I'm just going to try to possess one of the people then. Try this again.
Yeah, you easily slip into one of these people. It's like there's no will opposing you at all. And
Okay.
you're in a tough, enhanced, like you feel strong and powerful and healthy, and you got a big gun in your hands.
Okay.
Does that take your action, your whole action, or do you get to do something now that you're possessing?
I think that's my whole action, and then I'll be able to start doing stuff my next.
All right, Optimist.
So I see Core, who is now a T-Rex fighting this other T-Rex, right? And I saw Astro fly down the hallway. I'm going to follow Astro and see what I see. And then coming upon the next room full of wizards and portals. Do these guys look human? Do they look superhuman or...
The only one that you've seen so far as you sort of move up to follow Core is the T-Rex looking person.
No, I moved to follow Astro Chimp.
Gotcha. When you go to do that, I want you to make a flight test to see if you can get through the cramped quarters or if you're stuck back here.
Alrighty. I have Agile Flyer, so it should be pretty good. And this is just what did you say last time? A flight check?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have that as a thing, but I'll just go up against my flight, I guess. Can I add my Agile Flyer to it? Because it normally
what does that advantage do for you?
It normally just increases my dodge and parry while I'm flying.
Let's just say since you have that quality, like you can just slip through automatically. We'll skip the roll.
Yeah, because I get super crazily agile when I'm flying.
Yep, you got to like fly over and pass Core, and like you're gonna go over this T-Rex, but like these big arms and this cannon is in the way, so you slip through like right between her legs and duck to the right of the tail, and find yourself going through the hole to the entrance foyer, and you see the big scene.
Okay, so I keep flying. These soldiers, do they look like they're human soldiers? Do they look like they're from like some sort of government that I would recognize? Do they look like they're just...
They're not wearing any sort of insignia that you can see or recognize. They're like kind of black and intimidating looking, like paramilitary, full mask and everything. And they have big looking, like energy weapon looking guns.
But they do look human, as far as I'm able to tell.
I mean, you can't see them under their masks and stuff.
But they're humanoid,
they're
then, I
shaped
guess.
like humans. Yeah, they're shaped like people.
So one of my complications is, two of them. Like, doing good, I'm always trying to do what's right. And also optimistic to a fault. So I'm going to attempt to reason with this wizard guy and say like, hey, this is probably just this big misunderstanding. Like, what's going on? Do you need something? Like, can we help you with your rent or something? will that help?
Assuming he turns and goes, ah! Oh, why aren't you blown up? You're
Oh.
supposed to be blown up!
Oh, that was you?
Blow him up! He says to the soldiers.
No, don't blow me up. Don't blow me up. And so yeah, I'll take my turn trying to convince them.
It doesn't seem like he's very interested in like having a back and forth with you.
No, I'm just, as I'm saying, I'm using my complication to.
Oh, gotcha. So you get a hero point by spending your, more or less wasting your action.
Yeah, I'm wasting my action to
them.
try to have a conversation with these guys to get them to turn away from their evil ways, and we'll buy them lunch, and we'll, if they need diapers or or help with utilities, we can absolutely do that. Just give up the life of crime.
Yeah, it seems clear to you that they came here to do mean things, specifically to you and the other Justicars.
Well, now that I know that, I can act, but gosh darn, these villains just get more and more aggressive every year.
All right, Ether, it's your turn.
So I don't have on my character sheet for when I'm possessing somebody, I don't have the guy's abilities that I'm actually possessing. So what would I roll to just like start attacking the other people that are around me?
Well, if you use his abilities, he's got a +8 on his attack rolls. Otherwise,
Okay.
you might use your own skill for guns if you got
Okay.
one.
I think I do.
He's got this big old blaster rifle. He turns and goes to shoot the one next to him.
I'm actually, instead of shooting the person next to me, I'm actually going to try to shoot that crystal.
Oh, okay. He turns to fire on the crystal.
Yeah.
So make an attack roll. It's pretty easy, but not as easy as shooting, the wall.
Right. Let me see. It's
That's
just
gonna
straight
be
up attack?
Well, it'd be, I think, dexterity bonus, or is it agility? I'm still learning the system. And then if you've got a skill for guns, you would use that, but otherwise, if you can actually tap in and use his skills that he has, he's got a +8 total.
Okay. Can I tap in and use his?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, you can because it's not actually a skill, it's all raw ability for him, so.
Okay. And then I just roll a +8?
Yep, roll a d20 and add an 8.
Okay.
So he's trying to shoot the big crystal. You only need a 10 to hit. So
+8.
don't roll a 1 or just a 1, I
A
guess.
12.
Okay, with the 12, he blasts the crystal.
Okay.
It sort of like gives off this little spark of energy and cracks. And then, Chaos Lord turns. No! Why would you do that? Stop! And then Gravistar, it's your turn.
Alrighty, as I come flying around the corner, I see that everybody's went into the room except for Core, so I'll choose to help Core fight the dinosaur right at the moment.
Okay. You come around the corner, see the big old dinosaur with the robot arms looking at you.
Oh, thanks, friend.
I'll hit the robot dinosaur with gravity paralysis.
All right, what does that do?
That is, she's got to make a DC 23 dodge check. It's affliction.
Okay, she failed by 8.
All right, that's only 1 degree, so she is now hindered and vulnerable.
All right, hindered and vulnerable. Let's see. I think I've got a...
Yeah, hindered is basically half speed, and then vulnerable is half defenses.
Okay. So, yeah, she sort of begins to get heavier, and she's already pretty heavy. I mean... So she looks like she's having a bit of trouble bearing the weight of her own body and, robot arm assembly. And then it would be their turn. We'll go with her. Sue is sort of like is somewhat borne down under the weight, and she says, she's sort of looking at you with like bared teeth, but her voice sounds, more or less unaffected by the exertion. Oh, Gravistar. Let's see how you like my dorsal cannon. And then the big gun on their back sort of like lifts up and points at you and goes bzzz, and it goes when it fires, instead of like a big boom, it's more of like a and this thing comes launching out at you. It looks like this big black goober. And let's see, this is affliction as well, so it'll hit you. Well, I guess you get to roll, I think it's a dodge to avoid it.
Oh, I'd tank the roll.
Yeah, that's definitely a failure by 2 levels here, so...
If I can, I have a thing that lets me take a hit for some...
Okay, how does that work?
Hold on one second. It's interposed, so I take an attack that's meant for an ally.
All right, so I guess you would fail the dodge roll then?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that...
Because if you're trying to dodge, that would kind of defeat the purpose of jumping in to take the attack.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
that's
fine.
fine.
You're going to take the attack to the same level that he did.
All right.
So this thing like goes and hits, and like at first it seems like it's a squicky blob thing, but then it spreads out and it has these like kind of tentacle arms, and the side of it that's hitting you, like there's all these teeth on it. It starts grabbing and biting and grinding.
I cry out, but it sounds like a roar in my T-Rex form.
Okay, so you are currently... Let's see, we'll go with... I didn't write down the things ahead of time for this, so this is more of a grappling type effect. So yeah, we'll go with hindered, which means I think you're half speed. So you're going to be slowed down a lot by this, but then the further effect is that you're going to be prone.
All right.
And I don't think you can just get up from being prone at this point. You have to kind of fight against it. So yeah, this thing's like grappling you, and you sort of like roar and fall over. But yeah, Gravistar doesn't get hit. And then the voice next to the speaker on the T-Rex says, "Oh, you don't have to worry. I got plenty. I brought plenty for everybody." And then back in the other room, the goons turn, and they all start shooting at the Optimist. So make 4 dodge rolls.
All right. 24, 19, 32, 24. Which are also my measurements. Not really.
All right, you managed to evade most of them, but one of them got a solid hit on you with their blaster, and it's a pretty high-powered weapon. Go ahead and roll your toughness.
I am flying, so that helps a little bit. Well, no, it doesn't. Just kidding. All right, my toughness. I roll a 20.
Okay, it hurts a bit, but it's pretty minor injury. You're going to be suffering -1 to future damage rolls. That's all.
Ouch! Now that hurt.
And then elsewhere here in the room, oh yeah, there's the robot thing. Let's see, what do I want that thing to do? Is Astro Chimp is in here too, though, isn't he? Yeah, it's going to focus on Astro Chimp. It says, "Oh, Astro Chimp," says in a sheer voice. "I was hoping I'd get to face you." And it seems to originate this beam from right in front of the drone, this wide, bright beam to shoot you with. It doesn't look like it emanates from a gun. So go ahead and make a dodge roll against his blast.
All right. Oh, 10.
That's not good. And he definitely hits you. And go ahead and roll to resist damage with toughness.
I'm assuming this attack is over 10 damage. Over 8 damage. Got a 28.
Okay, it hits you, gets a pretty solid blow in there, but it seems like your armor holds and it doesn't harm you any.
All right.
Oh. Well, that's not good, he says. Open fire! And all of his little micro turret drones fire. And I'm going to have them do like a team-up blast on you here.
Right.
So, make another dodge roll.
21 this time.
And they definitely hit you. There's just too much fire to avoid. And roll your soak.
30.
But looks like you're holding up to the attacks. They're not necessarily low-powered energy attacks. They're blasting chunks out of the furniture and walls here and there, but chunks off of the walls maybe, but revealing the armor-reinforced plating underneath it. But yeah, you're not actually getting hurt by it.
Right. Astrosship is like sweating, but he will put on a more confident face. It's like, "You're puny. Technology cannot hurt me." It sounded a lot more evil than I intended.
And then Chaos Lord yells, "Hurry up! I can't hold the portal and fight them at the same time!" And another half a dozen dudes come walking out, or another five dudes come walking out. They're super soldier ones and start looking around and taking aim at various different targets around the room. And that's the end of the villain's turn. And do we have a scheduled break time? Do we want to, at the end of a round, do we want to take a break?
Yeah, we can take a break right now. Be back in 10.
Let's get core, because not the end of the round yet. Yes,
Oh, sorry.
I almost did it, almost. I caught myself this time.
I'm forgettable. That's fine.
No, it's just everybody else going before the villains. And then
You've
having
been
one
a
person
centaur
afterwards.
and a T-Rex. I don't think forgettable is the word.
I'm just a master of subtlety, that's all.
The subtle T-Rexes fighting each other in a hallway.
All right, Core, what are you doing in your turn?
So I'm grappled now, right?
Not exactly. You're more partially entangled. You can still move around and do stuff, but you're slowed down, and you can't seem to stand up easily.
Okay, I want to go ahead and, since I'm prone, I'm just going to kick out with my big T-Rex legs and see if I can do an unarmed attack.
All right, let me check if there's a modifier for prone.
Is that a
here
T-Rex
for melee
joke?
Attacks.
Is what a T-Rex joke?
Unarmed attack. 'Cause,
You've seen my chats in here. Don't dad joke on me, Opti.
Yeah, you take a
Can't
-5
handle.
on close attack checks when you're prone.
Okay.
All right.
All right, well, my
Attack
unarmed-
-5.
Okay, so that's going to be +8. All right, so take 7 off that. So that's 18 to hit.
Yeah, with an 18, you go to kick, but yeah, Sue sort of like jumps up over, almost like doing a jump rope move, and comes back hard on the ground.
You have no idea how bad I want to see a T-Rex do that.
And now it's the end of the round, and we'll cut to before the break. What else is going on outside? The dome has kind of gone silent and dark. The crowd that's out in front of the place seems like they'd be freaking out or reacting or doing something, but they're all kind of calm, and they've all just kind of been focusing on the stage as Seeley and the Butterflies plays. And It's like there's this wave of energy coming from the band and the singer who's got this wicked grin on her face as the people start to form up in lines and some buses start to pull up.
What? And we're not seeing any of this, right?
No, this is all going on outside while you're still stuck in your base, fighting, the enemies and your base. Well, more the enemies at this point, so. Yes, I think that's a good midway point here. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. We'll be
See
back
you all in a
10
bit. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to choke, but I'm still the optimist. And we're here playing the Justicars. What we've got going on here is a brand new base that we just invited all the Justicars to help celebrate. Astro Chimp finally showed up to the base in Proudhaven, and we were summarily attacked. So now we're trapped inside our base. We're trapped inside our headquarters, which has got a big black dome over it. There's a rock concert going on outside that seems to be hypnotizing people, and there's some Chaos Lord on the inside, and what'd you call him? The Monarch was threatening the people outside. And we're gonna return to in media res as we're fighting for our lives on the inside of our headquarters.
All right, first in the round is Astro Chimp on 26.
Right. So these people coming out of the portal, did you describe them to be robotic, or is it just that one robot?
No, and I guess since we're coming back from the break, I should set the scene a little bit. You're currently fighting in this entry foyer, sort of a great room space of this mansion that's been converted into an HQ for you superheroes, and also turned into a trap against you. And in this place, there's this big sort of purple fiery portal being held open by Chaos Lord, who's this kind of young mage-looking dude. Big pointy high collar, staff, all sorts of symbols and jewelry. And there's like 10 guys in here that look like they're in like full paramilitary armor with big blaster guns, mostly shooting at Opti, but one of them shot their big crystal thing that's in the center of the room. Didn't look like Chaos Lord appreciated that much. And then there's also this like robot thing on tentacles that's cheerily talking, and is supported by a small like group of little flying versions of itself with guns on it. And they seem to be busily trying to blast away at Astro Chimp. They hit him a lot, but didn't seem to hurt him any.
Right. So Astro Chimp is going to look around for anything that would provide cover.
It's fairly open in here, unless maybe you fly up toward the top. There's this big chandelier-looking thing.
Okay, right. So, yes, Astro Chimp is going to fly up to the chandelier, grab onto it for whatever small cover it provides, and he's going to do a thing. He's going to use his hero point, and he's going to... so you see a device on his left arm, like a gauntlet that just kind of like transforms into something and creates a bubble of blue translucent bubble around him, and suddenly inside the bubble the Astro Chimp moves at incredible speed, and using one hero point he will create a gadget. It's a broad spectrum nullifier, and the broad spectrum is gonna nullify, it's gonna be technology, and so it's D24, so the DC should be 29, because the for jury rigging, when you do it on the spot, it's 24 plus 5. So I'm going to go roll for that.
It's a technology skill roll?
Yep, technology skill roll. So I got a 30, which should allow me to craft it.
Right, yeah, so you create this time bubble that lets you move with incredible speed and build your device, and when you're done... well, it should work. You've got the prototype.
All right, and he's gonna like, I guess, look down from the chandelier, and he yells at or communicates to Opti, if they have communicators on or whatever. He says, "Opti, you got the weird fella with the fancy clothes?"
I take out my cell phone. go, oh, hey, man. Yeah, I'll take care of him.
It's like, hey, you should get one of those smartphones, those flip phones. They don't, they ain't that great no more.
See, at least one of you has some fashion sense, he says.
I'm done.
I just want to point out the fact that he created a time machine and he uses it just to move a little faster.
To build
Move
stuff, yeah.
a lot faster.
All right, it's Ether's turn on 24. Looks like you got more bodies like you around you now. None of them seem to have shot at you yet, but...
Is that all that's around me, or did that wizard guy leave?
the wizard guy is still around. He's holding that portal open.
Gonna shoot at him.
Okay. It's just a +8, I think.
Okay. So it's still a d20 plus 8 that we did before?
Yep.
Okay. Give me a second. $26.
All right. Yeah, you turn the blaster on him and shoot him. He goes to sort of jump out of the way some. Oh, no! And he gets hit and blasted. Oh, why do you... Oh, it's you! And yeah, it looks like you hurt him, and he's got the dazed quality right now as well, status right now. So
Okay.
he's starting to add up on him, but he's still up, more or less.
Okay. That's my turn.
And then, Opti, it's your turn.
So I'm going to turn to Chaos Lord, and having been given some rough instructions from my dear friend, I am going to go after him. I'm feeling a little bit passionate, and so instead of using my beams, which I'm much more accurate with, I'm instead going to power up my fists and take a whack at him. And I'll say something like, "You're just a mean person. You remind me of my extended family on the internet." And I'll punch him in the face. with a 22.
That's going to hit. What's your damage?
23.
All right, so when you punch him, like, he kind of turns to the side, you hit his collar, and it seems like really stiff, like it dissipates a lot of the energy. There's a little bit of a glow to it, like he's not actually as wimpy as he looks like, and probably because of some magic stuff he's got going on. But yeah, you hit him, he goes, "Oh, ah! Don't hit people. That's not nice."
You can't call for civility while you're planning to bomb people's houses. You're an
right.
awful person.
And then Gravistar's turn.
Alrighty, she-devil. If that's the way you want to play, just blast that T-Rex.
All right, what are you blasting with?
My gravity blast.
Oh, hey, thanks, Danger Duck.
Got 24 to hit and a DC 29 damage.
The 24 definitely hits her. And yeah, you definitely did some damage. You blasted her, and you can see some damage on her tech and a little bit of a bruise there. And she says, "Ouch!" Now, and yeah, she doesn't really have that much of a biting remark.
Villains who can't banter are the worst.
All right, next we have it's their turn. So yeah, she seems to get pissed at you, and she'll step forward and swing at Gravistar with one of those big, giant, robotic arm fists. So this is going to be against your parry. Oh, I got like a 20.
My parry's only 16, so that hits.
Okay, so she whacks into you with her fist. Go ahead and resist damage.
All right, 26. I'm assuming her base damage is higher than 7.
Yes, but it's not high enough that you take damage from that attack. So it wallops into you and slams you into the wall, and some of the wood paneling crumbles and cracks around it into splinters around you, but you're unharmed. And then she just roars in your face, and something is said in the speakers, but it's drowned out by the roar. Let's see, then in the room with a bunch of combat, let's see, Chaos Lord is he's looking around at what's happening. He says, you're supposed to keep these people off of me! And he drops his concentration on the portal, which dissipates. And, yeah, he's been hit a couple times here. He just says, I can't work like this! I thought you people were professionals! And he's Moon Tarak Fatara and hits the staff down and he goes poof, and he's gone.
Good riddance.
The robot with the tentacles is oh that's not a good sign. This is not how this was supposed to go. And I guess it starts to open fire. They're going to have all of their drones assist, drone fire assist their main particle beam attack on you. So I'll try to hit you with a bunch of stuff and power it up. So firing on Astro Chimp.
All right, so my dodge DC is 18. Do I get any bonus for hiding behind a chandelier?
Yeah, but the bonuses for having a whole bunch of other drones shooting gives her some bonuses that sort of countermands that. So you are hit by the particle blast. So go ahead and roll to soak that damage.
36, and it's a crit, I guess.
All right, so it hits you, and yeah, just the chandelier, like there's a few bits of it that aren't vaporized that start to kind of fall and tinkle to the ground around you, along with a few different sort of wisping, drifting embers of particles. But you're still up there, and yeah, you're just more or less fine. Don't feel any worse for wear.
It's like this power armor is worth every penny. Every taxpayer penny.
And then the little robot thing says, fascinating. I need to get some readings. Let's see, then other than that, the soldiers go, they I guess they're just gonna all start shooting. They're going to open fire on the Optimist. So
my dodge is 22.
All right, I'm going to batch them into 3 groups with 2 aiding the first. So you are hit by some of the blasts. It's just a whole bunch of gunfire coming at you, just vaporizing the sofa that you're standing next to, as well as, some of the blasts hitting you. So make 2 soak rolls with your toughness.
All right.
Don't forget you're at -1 from a previous hit.
How many? 2?
2.
29 and 21. My force field is always on, but sometimes it is lessened and weakened by my current mood.
Yeah, one of the blasts comes right at your face, but your force field hits it and it dissipates with this bright flare. But you feel a hot, searing pain down at your leg as one of the other ones hits you. And the result is you're another cumulative -1 as you're starting to feel the pain.
All
little
right. What a cowardly thing to do. These guys are getting my dander up.
And yeah,
wanna
that's it
turn
for
into
them.
a cat.
So we're down to core.
All right. So I am still.
I'm sorry, I skipped something. You're being chewed on. Make a toughness roll.
Oh, super! It's my favorite.
And don't forget you're at minus something from previous rolls.
Yeah. So I'm -5, but I have 5 of my toughness is impervious. So I should still be at 11, I believe. Not that that's great.
Yeah, so you're going to suffer another cumulative -1, and you are now staggered. This is really painful. It's like biting into you. And let's see, what does staggered do? If you're staggered more than once, you're actually incapacitated. So,
Uh-oh.
let's see, what page are these on? Oh, well, if one of you wouldn't mind looking up the staggered condition.
Staggered is dazed and hindered. Yeah.
You're already hindered, so you're already, and now you're dazed as well. So yeah, so just only one standard action. This is just really painful, and this thing's biting at you and wrapping itself around where it can, and then raking these claws along or chewing.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and GTFO. So I'm going to start morphing into my pixie form. Unless it's holding me still and I can't. I leave that up to you.
I don't think it would prevent you from being able to shift. I'm not sure if shifting would get you out of it, though.
Is your pixie form smaller than your normal form, or just...
Yep. She is wee. I can use growth, but I am not.
All right, so I guess you can shift, but you're still in trouble.
So it's not, basically, as I shift down, the tentacles are still going to have hold of me?
I mean, I would think so. I don't think it would necessarily get you out of it, unless you would sort of break off part of yourself, or only some of yourself is touching. But I don't know that it would get you out of it or counter it necessarily. Actually, no. Let's go for it. There's like a power countering rule in here. It does sound like something that might work, and it's in question. So let's let the dice decide.
Okay.
All right. So countering powers. Nuts. I thought there was a chart for this. Maybe I'm getting Earth Dawn stuff mixed up in my Mutants Masterminds rules.
Worst case, I can use a hero point, correct?
Yeah, why don't you just use a hero point?
Let's do that. All right.
All right, poof. You shifted into a pixie in such a way that the tentacles couldn't follow, and the thing sort of like flops on the ground for a while, sort of gradually moving and undulating on the ground.
I am fast pixie.
All right, and that was your standard action. Because you're dazed, though, you don't get to move away yet.
Okay.
And next round, end of the round description of what's going on outside. As some buses are starting to pull up, and the people are just sort of forming up into lines. Looks like they're getting ready to go on these buses as the concert's going on. It's definitely weird. Like, there's strange stuff going on, and nobody's jumping up and dancing to the music or acting freaked out or running away. They're just all acting very orderly, including some of the police out there. And then we come back around to top of the order, or top of the round, Astro Chimp.
and probably like the highest in terms of altitude in this fight, or height, I guess. So the translucent bubble around Astrochimp's fades away, and he's holding some sort of a sphere-like device that's emanating electric energy. And he looks down at the robot that's been shooting at him for the last couple of rounds. He says, "The problem with technology is, well, I can do it better." And then he chugs the spear-like device at and it's an area effect technology nullifier. 60 feet around the robot, and it's gonna be a post check, and it's also precise. So I'm aiming to nullify any weapon with a technology modifier.
Okay, so that would be all the blasters that are being carried by the goons, and
Yep.
some of their backup weapons and things, and then all the little robots, and maybe the big one.
All right, so I'm gonna roll d20. It's gonna be that result plus 10. Oh no!
Oh, no!
11, and it's a fail.
Okay, so you go to fire it off, and well, what's the unpleasant or anticlimactic result?
So he throws it at the the robot, and probably falls somewhere near him, and it starts like glowing with some tremendous energy, and the robot probably, like everybody around, is probably a little scared, and it just kind of like fizzes out like psst. Like, and he's okay, that I did not see that coming.
Yeah, when you toss it, the robot like sort of turned towards it, and it started to power up, and it was like ooh, and then it fizzled. It like sort of turns back to you. Was that what it was supposed to do?
So, Azure Chimp is trying to save face. So he says, "You have no idea what it did. It is currently there." Sorry.
No. I think capacitor overloaded. I think you might have cut some corners on the power system.
Azure Chimp's like, "It's not what happened." What?
Now it's Ether's turn.
Okay. As far as it's still in the room with me, people started moving and stuff because he disappeared, right?
Yeah, Chaos Lord looks like he just like left. All these guns are like powered down now, including the one that you're carrying. Because Astro Chimp didn't know which one you are necessarily, or even that you're there.
Well,
there's the robots.
So are they still attacking my party members then? Is that...
There's a bunch of flying robots, and then the bigger one with the tentacles that's more like moving along the ground with them. But yes, they've been generally shooting at Astro Chimp.
So with our guns powered down, I'm going to go and turn around and go towards the tentacle robot and try to use my gun as bashing damage. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I thought since Astro Chimp didn't work,
strong.
isn't the gun still working?
Yeah, that's. I thought I got a 1.
Oh no,
so
never mind. Sorry,
should
yeah,
still
we
be
will
working.
work on those.
Okay, I'll just shoot on him then.
Okay. You take aim and
25.
Nice.
ooh, 25 will hit. But it doesn't seem to do any damage.
Okay.
And Blip turns, or the robot turns and says, "Hey, you there! Stop that! Fire at that one!" It points at Opti.
It's not my turn anymore though, right?
Right, it's Opti's turn.
Okay.
Now that's not very nice, and seeing as how you're a nice robot who's so proper, I'm going to give you a send-off to remember. And it's on the ground, right? The tentacles are kind of on the ground.
Yes, it's using them to walk.
Okay, so I'm going to fly up above it and try to shoot all of its tentacles off. with my Light of Hope, which is a 30
That definitely hits.
for a DC of 27.
Yeah, that failed by a bunch. You blast it, and the robot just sort of begins to spark, and these different points start to glow, and the tentacles sort of like each pop off, and there's this sort of garbled, slowing down, fuzzed out voice as it falls over and says, "Oh no!" And
That's
hits the
what you
ground,
get
begins
for
to
telling
smoke.
people what to do.
At that point, all the other little drones in the room self-destruct and explode. It's basically enough to cover everyone in this area, so everybody has to make... Thank goodness there's no chunky salsa rules. But everybody in the room gets to make a soak roll.
We get to...
Or a toughness.
We get to.
Yep.
28.
Core, you're out in the hall, so you're not affected.
22. That's including my -2 for being scuffed up.
I got a 17, but I didn't know if I was supposed to add anything to it because I'm in that guy's body.
Oh, yeah, it's only going to affect the body, which...
You can't be
That
held
was the straight
responsible.
roll. He's probably okay.
He'll live, maybe. If not, I'll just bail. That's fine.
It's not my fault.
So, yeah, Opti, you're going to take another point of damage. Astro Chimp, you're doing fine. Core, you're out in the hall, so you're okay, as is Sue.
So everybody in this room is gone, but Sue, the T-Rex, is still fighting.
I'm a pixie now.
There's still the soldier dudes in there, too.
But Sue, is Sue the other T-Rex? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys don't necessarily know that, but her coworkers were referring to her by name earlier. Okay, so after Opti goes, it's Grab's turn.
Alrighty. I'll blast Sue again.
She's generally a pretty easy target.
I only got a 13 that time, so I hope that hit.
A 13 will definitely not hit. It actually comes close, considering the penalty from being hindered, but... Nope, you blast away and, just basically rake across and do some damage along the ceiling. And then it's their turn. So, yeah, Sue's gonna go and, how's it going back there, guys? That voice says, after hearing all those explosions. Was that the bomb? Did it finally go off? And she's going to take a couple of steps back and aim her big blaster gun at the pixie. It's moving on her back, and it's trying to track you. And it fires again, but this time it doesn't do the splorge. It fires off this big sort of blue-black beam. And misses. It probably blows a hole in the ceiling up into the second story. Just, damn it, stand still! And I think that's it for her turn. The other guys in the room, I guess they're, what are they gonna do? They don't have any leaders in here anymore.
Just they're all just left like, So
I've got to make their toughness rolls. Oh, good, they failed, so they're all knocked out or killed, or probably just knocked out by the blast. So the only one that's left standing is the one that Ether is in control of. His cage is rattled a bit, but he was a bit off to the side and I don't know, maybe a little bit tougher. So, yeah, you've almost got this fight wrapped up. There's just the T-Rex. What are you going to do with her? We come to Cora's turn.
So I'm pretty beat up and in pixie form now, which means I'm wee. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of my Fey powers then to do a burst area illusion and basically just flash bright lights right around her face to try to distract or blind her. Do something to distract so Gravistar or one of my buddies can take her down.
Okay, so you're doing like an aid another type action?
Yeah.
Or does it have a power effect like Dazzle or something?
It's just burst area illusion, visual and hearing effect. It's 5 ranks of it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll allow you to essentially do like an aid action with it. So that'll assist, I guess, whoever attacks her next.
Would you consider this teamwork then?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. I do have that as a one of my advantages, so I get a +5 on that as well.
Which advantage?
Teamwork?
Okay, so they get a +2 instead of a... they would normally get a +2, but they get a +5 instead.
Correct.
All right. Yeah, she's definitely suffering from being disoriented by these illusions. What the... No, what's that? No, wait, this... No, this can't be real. Chaos Lord, what are you doing?
And I'll... Gravistar, are you still with me?
Yeah, he's pretty much right there with you.
Okay.
Yeah, right here, person.
So I'll kind of perch on your shoulder and be like, I'll make a distraction, so go ahead and finish her.
And then we come around to the next turn, Astro Chimp. Looks like Opti fried that robot, and the rest of them blew up.
Right, Astro Chimp kind of he's gonna let go of the whatever remnant of the chandelier he's been hanging on to. He's gonna drop down, and he's gonna sort of give a quick survey of the area. Is Sue the T-Rex still a very visible threat?
She's still fighting in the other room, in the hall out there. Yep.
All right, so Opti, he sees that Core has been, hurt in this fight, so he's gonna start making, start popping up his little time bubble and start making Steam Pack a little healing serum. So when after they put the T-Rex down, he can just be ready to heal her up, which will take a while. So I guess that he will be doing that unless things go down south.
Okay, then Ether, it's your turn. You're still in a goon for now. He seems to be running just fine.
And all the other ones are pretty much on the ground?
Yeah, it looks like everyone else was blasted. It's probably a good thing you ran this way.
Okay.
Of course, I guess you're not that invested in the physical health of your current tools.
So would we know that the T-Rex went out? We saw her leave, but we know exactly where she is? Or she's not too far?
She's making a lot of noise in a hallway just outside the room you're in. And,
okay.
The doorway is essentially a gaping hole in the wall.
Yeah, they blew that open. Okay, so I'm going to start heading out. And does my gun still work then? It still does.
Yeah, he had selective, so he wouldn't have affected your gun even if he... or never mind. Sorry, go on. Yep.
Okay.
It was because of a crappy roll, not from selective.
Oh, all right. So I'm gonna head out and just try to. So Cora's a pixie at this point in time. So the T-Rex is just there with Gravistar, right?
You go running out into the hall, and you can see, you're basically you can see the back of the T-Rex, and on the other side you can see Gravistar standing there with the pixie on his shoulder.
All right, I'm gonna take a shot at the T-Rex while he's distracted by them. She is distracted by them. Sorry. Is that cool?
All right, make your attack roll.
21.
And that's enough to hit her. She seems to be moving pretty slow. And what's the damage? Oh, yeah, it's this guy's blaster.
Yeah.
It hits her and doesn't seem to do much of anything. She sort of turns back and, that one felt real.
All right, that is my...
And then it is Gravistar's turn.
Alrighty. So I'm going to try to take advantage of Cora's distraction and wrap the T-Rex up in a crushing gravity field.
All right, how does that work?
Well, actually, it's going to be a dodge check for the dinosaur at a DC of 27.
And that's a failure by 7.
Which will then result in a DC 27 damage.
Oh, she's definitely taking some damage from that. She's like, And some of her, the chassis of her robot stuff is starting to crumple a bit, and she's seeming to be compressed some. Definitely being hurt by it. But, yeah, she's still conscious.
Did you skip my turn?
Did I?
I thought I was going after Aether.
Did. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, I will fly back into that room, and I want to try something out, because she's the only one left, I think, that is being aggressive toward us. I am going to use my Light of De-Escalation, which basically means to it's a affliction that the better it does, like the more people don't want to fight. So I'm just gonna go in there and shine my bright light of de-escalation and see if I can't get her to just stop.
Is that selective? Does it affect everybody, or is it a single target?
It's single target. Yeah, it's my Be Nice ray.
What's the will difficulty on that?
Let me see. It doesn't matter. I didn't hit. Unless
you have to roll to hit.
Unless 4. Yeah, it's not. It's an affliction, but I still have to roll for it. I have to hit them first. And,
yeah, you just totally missed.
How did I get 4? That doesn't even make sense. Oh, I see. I didn't add. I didn't add my to hit. It should be 12 higher than that. So 16.
That is enough to hit, considering the hindrance. So.
All right. So that's DC 22. It depends on how much she fails by.
She doesn't seem to fail it.
Oh, poo.
She has a strong will.
Oh, well.
Ether didn't have much luck possessing her either.
Oh, that's right. I should have known. Well, I wasn't there. That's okay. Hey, I do have a question for Astro Chimp. Does that time sphere affect his whole body, or is it just like his hands?
It's a whole body. He looks like a blur moving.
Okay, so like, is he like way older than he should be by now? Because he keeps using that.
Keeps using it. He uses it for everything.
He's like a 20-year-old chimp who's actually like 50.
He got some. Like, he has like salt and pepper fur, I guess.
It's like, man, you. How old are you now in chimp years?
I'm trying to think about it.
Okay, and then on Sue's turn, she sort of like flails around and like sees all of you around her, and she's, but no, it's we failed. And she sort of sags.
That's it? She just sags?
And there's this bzzz, she sort of powers down her dorsal cannon. All right. I don't have a fancy way out.
Are you hungry?
And then at that point, there's a sort of purple arc that appears nearby. She goes, "Oh!" and leaps towards it. And, oh, wait, no. They had to use a... she's like, and then stops, says, "God, Chaos Lord, you asshole! You know I can't fit through that!" She's trying to, like, stick her head through the portal, and... you hear a voice on the other side. "It doesn't get any bigger! You're gonna have to make it work!" It's the best I can do! Alright, I guess, Core, it's your turn.
Exhausted and sitting on Gravistar's shoulder, I'm just watching this T-Rex try to fit. It's like a square peg in a round hole. But she doesn't seem to be fighting us, so I'm not going to fight her. I'll kind of, catching my breath, go, do you need a hand?
What if we all got behind her and pushed?
It's like Winnie the Pooh!
She sort of pulls her head back out of the portal and turns back and looks over at all of you, and just sort of doesn't know what to do. Then
Would you like
I guess
to use
we're
the
kind
door?
of out of initiative.
You could use the door.
What? No, the dome is going to block any exit.
What dome?
The dome that's around the mansion. Didn't you notice it?
No!
She's gesturing. She's not actually moving her mouth or her lips. There's the voices coming out of the speaker next to her head. The big... Oh, wait, I shouldn't say anything else. But
I'm going to leave her.
See her move through there.
I'm going to leave her and then fly to the nearest window or door to try to get an idea of what's happening.
All right. You have to kind of like power up your fist and kind of bash it open because it's got a steel thing over it. And you look out and you can see it's black. There's this black dome outside covering the building.
Oh, guys. Hey, listen, we're trapped in here. Or there's a dome around the rest of the world. Let's just, let's blast this thing out. And I try to blast it.
Okay, you blast at the dome and it doesn't seem to have an effect. I'm assuming that was the damaging ray?
Yeah,
at power level 12?
Yes. Well, I'll fly back and then say, "Hey, Sue, how do we get this thing to come down?" Sue?
I don't think I'm supposed to tell you that.
Well, I mean, we don't have a reason not to get, we don't have a reason to not keep you from leaving. So, aside from that, so we're going to keep, I'm getting tongue-tied. We're going to keep you from leaving unless you tell us. How's that?
Can I double take to the bad guy that just talked and sounded reasonable?
So she turns over to Ether and says, "How are you doing that?"
Oh, yeah. Because Aether's in the bad guy.
Are you on their side from the beginning? Have you infiltrated our organization?
Yes, actually, I have. There's more of us.
Oh, that's not good at all. How many more?
Too many more.
At this point, I'll realize.
If you tell us how to get the dome down, then she'll tell you how many have infiltrated.
But by the way, you all hear like Astro Chimp in the comms, but he sounds like he's talking, like sped up. This is like mumbling coming through the comms.
So, wait a minute. Do you even know what our organization is called? I mean, his organization? I'm really more of a freelancer.
Tell her that we're asking the questions here. I saw that in a movie once.
Well, considering you're kind of stuck here, I don't think any of us have to answer any questions that you're asking.
Good point. You got any good board games or something? Or are you gonna make me clean up this mess? It's gonna take a
but
while,
I
guess.
do have some cookies. Do you like cookies?
We could use a maid. You could work for us for free until you tell us what to do about that orb outside.
That's
turns to Opti and says-
technically slavery. We don't really want it.
What kind of cookies?
They are raisin oatmeal cookies. They're quite chewy. Every Tuesday is Opti Baking Day.
I could probably have two. She holds up two little claws and one of her smaller, like physical, like fleshy arms. But yeah, most things that aren't, meat based tend not to agree with me so well.
I could get you some meat cookies.
I suppose I'll be your maid then.
No, guys, I don't feel good about
In
this.
exchange for cookies? Then it's not
payment.
slavery?
Could
You
give
would be
her
okay?
bacon.
How did we get here?
Wait, first, what's that black thing around the headquarters? What is it?
That's really all you have to answer.
It's a thing that Chaos Lord knows how to use. I don't really know much of anything about it. Let's talk about the maid service. Where do you want me to start? What do you think I should do first? I've never been a maid before.
Is that portal just open still?
No, it's closed now.
I was going to say jumps in.
Wait, team meeting. I call a team meeting so we can huddle up.
Take all the time you need.
Right. So Astro Chimp's flurry of motion stops, and he comes out, assuming it's been like a minute or two. Comes out with a big syringe, and he's like, "All right, oh, you're smaller than you were, right? This syringe might be a little too big." Looking at Core.
That's terrifying. It's as big as I am.
So, are we really considering allowing this T-Rex woman to work as our maid?
No.
It's rather
actually.
off-putting, actually. Yeah. Wait a minute.
I was trying to make her upset so that maybe she would just tell us, but that's not working.
Wait, does she sound like she's stalling?
Yes.
Hey, well, can you get this black stuff off of the headquarters? Seems to be surrounding us.
I can give it a little look, and then he throws.
Why don't you and Gravistar go see what you can do with it, and we'll deal with the T-Rex woman.
Yeah, he's gonna give the syringe to Opti and so just stick her with the pointy end, and he's gonna go off to look at the black star with Gravstar. I guess black stuff with Gravstar. Gravstar. God damn it.
As he walks away, I'd be like, please don't do that.
I will take the syringe and I'll look at Core and I'll look at the syringe and set it on the table. I'm not doing that.
Much appreciated.
If you feel like getting back to your normal self and sticking yourself, it's there for you.
I will transform to my original form, but I'll transform in my costume.
So, Sue. Can I call you Sue?
Yes, that's my name.
Sue, I don't believe you're interested in being our maid.
Not terribly.
I don't think you can hold a broom, so.
I still would like to offer you some bacon, however, and I fly to the kitchen and get some bacon.
Oh, that's very nice of you. I like bacon even more than cookies.
Yeah, so I give her bacon, and I say, now listen, This is not
His
a
little hand that's like sort of biting at the bacon with the big sort of T-Rex mouth.
Can I feed her the bacon? Is that offensive?
Oh, suppose, yeah, she'll...
If she tries to bite me, that'll
She'll,
be
like,
off-putting.
kind of reach to take the bacon from you as you're bringing it up, but... Yeah, if you gotta feed her, there's a little bit of an awkward moment where she's like, oh, that's what... Okay, we're doing this. Okay.
So, listen, Sue. Here. Yes, you can have all of it. I really don't want to be rude about this, but whatever your plan is, it's obviously foiled for the most part. Can you just give us a hand here, because it's going to go easier for you on the other side of this if we can tell the authorities that you were helpful. Otherwise, they're going to... I mean, like, you've seen how they treat people normally, right? Like the cops of Proudhaven, you know. Do you think they're going to...
No. Which people?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. I'm saying, like, normal people don't get treated very well all the time. I'm saying, how do you think they're going to treat, you know, a supervillain T-Rex? I just want to be able to have this go as easy for you as possible. And no, we're not going to make you the maid, but really, we really also don't want to see you get hurt. So if you could just help us out with this, then I can put in a good word.
She's sort of going along with and like asking questions, and seems like she's engaged in the conversation and wants to know more, and like she could talk about this all day long. While this is going on, Astro Chimp and Gravistar, what are you doing to check out the dome?
I'm not very intimidating.
So Astro Chimp looks at Gravistar and is like, Dr. Jennings, do you have any expertise in this that would help us in this predicament?
Well, it's certainly an unusual, and I can't say I've ever seen anything quite like it. But, yeah.
My first guess would have been some sort of dome of dark matter, but given the magic, seemingly arcane manner at which the really fancy-dressed guy tended to behave, it might be something more arcane, which is, well, makes things more difficult. So...
Yeah, is look around, you know, just investigate in general. Is there any type of source we can identify?
All right. So,
well, there is that big glowing crystal in the middle of the foyer, or the foyer. I'm not sure if it's pronounced. Never mind. Yeah, the big giant crystal thing that's giving off like weird energy, and it seemed to spark and crack when Ether shot it before. I'm not sure if you were there to see that. You were probably out in the hallway dealing with a T-Rex.
I was.
Speaking of which, Whitney, maybe that, not Whitney, Ether, that may occur to you as they're all checking this out, and Opti's having a conversation with this woman, I guess, and there was that big crystal that's still doing something in there. Maybe it has something to do with the dome.
Okay. I'm just going to grab my gun and go back into the other room and shoot at it again.
Okay, you shoot at it again. It probably takes you a few shots, but if you're determined and no one stops you, you'll eventually destroy it.
Yeah, I'm going to stop her.
So you guys are up there, and like you see like there's sort of parts and sections of this dome that start to like go transparent for a moment and then go back to solid black, and then just sort of like moving. It kind of looks like energy failure, and it sounds like there's shooting going on in the foyer. And so yeah, Opti, you're conversing with Sue, and Cora, what are you doing?
I am bandaging up all of the cuts all over me from those tentacle teeth. So I'm just trying to I'm thinking back to my original thoughts on the infirmary and how I wondered how long it would take me to get back there, and the answer was a whole like 10 minutes. So I'm just trying to heal up a little bit without injecting myself with the scary syringe that a monkey gave me that I just met. So
you can always turn into something big and then inject yourself.
Well, it's still scary.
Right.
That's very speciesist. Untrusting.
No, Sue does not have feathers. She appears to be an old school style T-Rex with the leathery reptile skin. Does appear to be warm blooded at least, though.
So I'm done with Sue.
And you've been sort of chatting with Sue, and you hear shooting in the other room, and Sue says, "Oh no, you figured it out."
So yeah, I'll fly towards the sound of the gunshots.
Yeah, with the, I guess, several rounds, you sort of empty a few more blasts into the thing, and then it suddenly shards of crystal go flying all over the room. So I guess Opti, who just entered the room, as well as Ether's host, can make a toughness save. I'll roll for your host, I guess. So he'll get knocked out.
22.
Well, no, you were in him, so I guess you just be dazed. With the 22, yeah, that's enough to take another point of damage, basically. So just the cumulative -1 for further soak rolls as you're blasted by some chunk of crystal that hits you in the chest and knocks the wind out of you for a second there. And further ruins what was left of the decor and the furniture and upholstery in this room.
All right. So Astro Chimp will hear the crystal cracking and the shots, and he'll fly in. It's like, whoa, we don't know what this thing is. Good blood.
As you're flying, there's this wave you think you detect, but none of your sensors pick it up, that flies out in all directions toward the dome, which just suddenly just disappears as suddenly as if somebody used that classic trick with the camera to take a picture or take a video and then pause it and then have the person move out of the frame and turn the video back on and look like they teleported. It's like that sudden and jarring. And when you look out there, it seems like there's not much of anything going on out here. There's the stage that's empty of people, and there's a few different bits of litter sort of blowing around in the room, not in the room, on the park out there. But all the people that were out there are just, there's the vehicles parked and a few different signs that people were just out there, but they're just gone.
Everybody's gone. There was a concert here, and I didn't even get to give my speech.
Also, when Opti left the room and left me and the maybe good guy, bad guy alone with me and the dinosaur, I'm going to turn back into my centaur so I can kind of block the door from, or if I get attacked, a little more durable than a pixie.
Okay. So you're kind of back there with her, and the dome's gone down, and Opti's kind of gone to see that, and some people are commenting on the people being missing. And at that point, there's another sort of purple fire thing that appears behind Sue. And out walks Chaos Lord.
Oh.
I guess, would you like to roll initiative?
I really would not, but okay.
This
All right.
schmuck again.
Guys, I am not your tank.
So you go on when?
11.
So yeah, you go first.
Oh boy.
What do you do? He comes walking out. He's got his staff at the ready. He's looking like he's ready for a fight. He sees you there.
I shout as loud as I can, guys, help! And then turn around to put my hoof business end toward the bad guy. I don't attack yet, but I am.
Motion towards the cookies.
I gotta protect the cookies. So I'll hold action until he actually attacks.
Okay. So he's sort of standing facing you, and he puts a hand on Sue and begins to concentrate and speak an incantation. He's starting to cast a spell of some kind. Doesn't look like he's making an offensive motion towards you, though. Are you going to do anything?
Please stop whatever you're doing. Just we don't have to have a fight.
As he's got one hand on Sue, he turns up to you and finishes the incantation, attacks Ra, and flips you off. And then they both sort of like turn into like a bright, solid white color and then disappear. These little motes of blue that dissipate shortly after.
I blink at that and go, that hurt my feelings.
And somewhere in like the post-end credits, it's a shot of them appearing somewhere and Sue leaning over to throw up again.
Full circle.
So on the outside, there's nobody left, or are there just some people left?
You look around, and it seems like there are a couple of people who are kind of standing around, like looking around, like kind of rubbing their head. Looks like they're confused, like they don't know where they are or what's going on. Do you want to approach one of them?
Yeah, I'm gonna fly over to one of them and say, "Excuse me, can you tell me what happened here?"
Oh, I don't know. It was like, the music was doing a thing, and then I wanted to go on the bus, but then I was too far away, and the buses drove away, and I was really upset about it, but it can't be right. It's like a dream, you know, man?
Did all these people that were here get on buses?
No, that can't have been real. I think something happened with that dome. Wait, oh, you're Optimist. You're one of the Justicars.
Yes, good to meet you.
Oh man, I was hoping I'd get to meet you.
Yeah, what's your name?
Looks around. Fred.
Fred, hey, very nice to meet you. I live here sometimes, so feel free to come by.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, of course. We're just normal
That's
people
so cool.
with powers.
Yeah, right.
Tuesday is baking night, so yeah, come on by. Excuse me, Fred.
So
I've got to go.
If you had to fight,
Fred, I'm so sorry. I don't want to be rude, but I really have to figure out what happened to these people. So I'm gonna fly up really high in the sky. Right. I'll be.
I forgot to ask for an autograph.
No, I'll be right back. Sorry, Fred. Hold on. And then I fly up and see if I can get a visual on any of these buses.
All right. Do you have any sort of like sensory abilities?
You would think with a name like Optimist that I would have some sort of optic powers, but I do not. Unless I can sense
You are
strong emotions. So unless there's some strong emotions around.
No, not so much. I think what's going to happen then is you're looking around, you don't see, like, you don't know which way they went, you don't know, you're starting to like get frustrated with it. This day was supposed to be like the big fun day with your speech and like, you know, the unveiling and everything, and like everything went so wrong, and you start to feel like kind of down, but then just this feeling of hope rises up in you, and you recognize sort of the spirit of hope speaking to you, and you close your eyes for a moment, and you see the buses driving down the road. You can see the road they're on, and you recognize it, and you realize you know where they are, and they're not that far away yet. If you and your team act fast, you might be able to save them.
All right, so I fly back inside the mansion and let everybody know. I think I know where they're going. And don't forget, we've got to find General Maxon as well. So get your stuff together, get a drink of water, and grab any extra cookies, and let's head out. That extra cookies line was really dumb. I'm so sorry I said that, guys. But still, you get your stuff and let's go.
Yeah, the chimp is already dipping the cookies in Nutella.
That's really disgusting. That's not what Nutella's for. Let's go. Come on.
That's exactly what Nutella's for.
But oatmeal and raisin cookies and Nutella, that's not okay. You need to. That can't be good for your diet either. Anyway, hey, let's go. And try to rally.
Is that a good stopping point for us?
I think that's a good.
At 11?
I think that's a good stop.
Yeah, I thought it was a good time to end it, but I wasn't sure if this was a 3-hour or a 4-hour show.
No, this is a 3-hour one. We did good.
Well then, yeah, then that was good pacing then.
I feel like I can't stop playing Optimus as if he's like like in a PBS superhero show.
That is exactly what Optiverse is.
Like he's a cross between Ray Palmer on Legends and like some nerdy superheroes that teach kids how to read at 4 years old.
I'm really sorry. I'll come back and give you an autograph soon.
Oh man. This was so much fun. Cliff, you're killing me with these supervillains.
I think Sue was my favorite. Chaos Lord was fun too, but yeah. Sue with the big robot arms and like the little arms that are controlling the stuff. I don't know.
I love how much the chat hates Chaos Lord.
I love how like the chat picked up on like what I was going for with Chaos Lord instantly. There was like no time before they instantly hated him. Yeah. So yeah, I had fun with that. I hope you guys enjoyed the adventure. That's I know I told you we were going to do something a bit in media res, and then I made it look like we were just going to have like a nice easing into things.
Right? I had my speech all planned and everything. I'm like, let's do this.
Opti will be on that stage even if no one's around.
Right at the end of the adventure, it's just Opti standing on the stage giving his speech to nobody.
Group meeting. You need to listen to this.
All right. Well, this will be up on YouTube for those who missed the earlier bits. And thank you to everybody who gave bits and who subscribed. We really appreciate you. In case you were wondering, Aether got the hero points, so she'll keep that until next time. And those will just keep rolling over. And Opti is going to continue to do weird stuff to get him hero points. And everybody else, you guys did a great job. I love this game. I think we're going to have a really, really fun time with everybody. Anything else anybody wants to say before we peace out?
That was fun, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Couple things.
That was fun.
Cliff, go ahead.
One is we have a fundraiser going on for the Shadowcasters Network. So we kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but if you check out our website, or I think there's a link down there somewhere, we're trying to raise a bunch of money to keep doing what we're doing because, well, basically we do this because we love to. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy getting people together to play games and putting out content that people enjoy watching and hanging out with. So in order to do that, it does take a lot of time and, a fair chunk of money to save us some time here and there, as well as to pay for server fees and stuff like that. So you can support us with our yearly fundraiser. That would be amazing. And we have some stuff that we hope that you'll find fun with that you'll get in exchange for supporting by buying these raffle tickets. The more you buy, the greater chances you have to win. There's some cool prizes. And we also have some general goals too, like I think if we hit $1,000, Bobby's going to release this buddy cop movie that he made a long time ago that he swore he would never release to the public, at least to me when he told me about it. And I said, I have to see that. So I'm looking forward to that. I think once we hit $1,500, Oz does some dance moves for us. And I don't know, if you guys have seen Oz's dance moves, they're worth seeing more of. So with that, I don't want to go all PBS, what are they called? Pledge drive with the whole thing and take too much time with it. Just please check it out, and if you can support us, please do so. And do so by buying the raffle tickets so you get the cool stuff. So
yeah, and one more thing regarding the fundraiser. The fundraiser ends with a streamathon in late June, about a month from now, and we are going to have 2 special Optiverse shows during the streamathon. The first one is going to come out pretty quickly when the streamathon begins, and that's Killing Time #1. And then the next day, around the same time, we're going to have Optiverse Killing Time #2, and that is going to be a crossover. So we're going to have people from the Justicars, we're going to have heroes from the variants, and we're going to have heroes from another team that won't even be showing up until September. So it's going to be our first crossover. Super excited about that. It's going to be, what are the kids saying these days? Lit. It's gonna be lit. So you guys should definitely show up for that, and it's gonna be great. So I think it's a good place to end it. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Yeet.
Well, with that, I would like to end this show with all of us together, giving a bit of a tribute to Stanley with a synchronized Excelsior. So, like on 3, and I'll do this so you guys can see. So after I drop the last finger, we can go Excelsior, and like all of you at home can do it with us too, except there's a time delay. So, but it will seem like it's at the same time. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, Excelsior. Ready? Excelsior!
Wait, I thought you were gonna do 3.
All right. We'll get better as the episodes go.
Excelsior! I was watching the chat.
Okay. The other thing is we should totally raid somebody.
Yeah, good idea.
I always forget to do that. Well, not always, apparently.
I'm not logged in as us, though, so I don't know how to do that.
Am I? No, I'm not logged in as us either. Hold on. Let me get a browser window up.
We got a raid earlier from original box set, so thank you, Cassie.
Yay!
But I don't know how the technologies work.
Let me see if it'll probably see if it'll let me log in. All right. Well, yeah. Feel free to head on out if that's all you want for the evening. We're just trying to set up a raid so we can all jump into someone else's channel and say, "Woo! Here we are. We're doing the thing," or something like that.
Right. Let's not forget.
Oh no. All right, never mind. I have to get a code from Bobby to log in.
That's what I was. So, like, let's not forget the Chekhov's gun of the healing thing that Astrochip made, right? It's out there now. It hasn't been used. It's just chilling. It's gonna come back. We got to use it next time. Bye, everybody. We're gonna end the stream because we're gonna ramble all night if we don't. But thanks for being here, everybody. Give a clap for all of our cast, who was wonderful, and we will see you when we see you. Have a great one. Peace out, Optiverts.